Yes, 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 yes. Jeez. Sorry, caught me off guard there. Bless up, bless up, bless up, family. Bless up, bless up, bless up. You know who this is. It's the 999 in the building. You don't know the settings, man. So, first of all, as we do, let us say grand risings, grand risings, grand risings. Yeah, hope everybody is well. Yeah, first and foremost, let's give thanks and praises to the Most High. Yeah, because nobody knows the minute, the hour, or the second. Yeah, so as we've all awoken today to see another day, let us definitely give thanks and praises. Yeah, so first things first, first things first. You don't know the rest. So today, family, is the 14th day of the 12th month, 2023. Yeah, so we got what? How many days? What? I can't even count. What's that? 11 days. You understand? To the pagan festival and that. So, for those of you that are Christmas orientated, make sure you're getting your little bits and bobs together. I mean, although I'll tell you what, I mean, already I'm probably digressing, but let's give I don't know, a round of applause, or I don't know, a minute silence. I don't know what the right word is for the high street. Do you know what I mean? The high street, the shops, man, because in my estimation, within not too long a time, man, like going out shopping will really be big up yourself, Mark Smith. Sorry, and big up Dawa Dollar Man as well. Big up yourselves, man. But I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like going to the shops soon. I don't know, man. I don't know. I just don't know because I don't know, man. What, like where you lot live? Big up yourself, wisdom. Where you people live? What does the high street look like? Is it bustling? Do you know what I mean? Is it because I think many places, for example, haven't sort of returned back to form since we had our 2 year holiday, etc., etc., etc. Obviously a lot of people in that time went online, and I'm not sure if they've really gone back, man. So, because I tell you, a shop that I heard closed, I was very surprised. Is Wilco's. Wilco's is closed. I was like, what? Do you know what I mean? And I thought Wilco's was a good little store for little bits and bobs. Do you know what I mean? But gone, and yeah, I'm seeing a lot of, sort of empty shops, or shops that they come and go very quickly. You know what I mean? They're not staying long at all. So again, I'm saying big up to those out there that are still trying to sort of run shops with storefronts, as it were. Do you know what I mean? Because I know the internet is very, very, very competitive now. Do you know what I mean? Because even me myself, previously, I've never bought food offline. Yeah, that's one thing I've never done thus far. I've not done no internet food shopping, although I've got loads of friends that's all they do, right? And family, to be fair. I've definitely bought like clothes and like maybe electronics and stuff like that offline, but never food and that, man. But yeah, I was just saying, and I'm also saying this because, and it's sort of not even in line with the topic of conversation, but potentially because just in terms of maybe how England is changing. Do you know what I mean? How the habits are changing, the social fabric of the country is changing. You always hear me talk about, you know what I mean, bring back the pubs and you know what I mean, like the sort of reduction in pubs. I think, yeah, I mean, there's definitely arguments for it being positive as well. Yeah, in terms of people's health, this, that, and the other. But I do believe that on the other side, in terms of especially for the indigenous population, and again, we're going to sort of talk about it. I think the pubs, like I said before, is quite an integral part of British society and British identity and all these varying things. And I just think that maybe with their eradication and even things like working men's clubs and things like that, I don't think they're as popular as they used to be. And yeah, I don't know, I'm digressing already, man, but yeah, shopping, man. England, and I've spoken about Sunday shopping before. Do you know what I mean? Even with the introduction of Sunday shopping, that's made such a significant difference again, I believe, to the sort of fabric of society, because now basically it's 7 days on, like there's no off day. There's just no off day, and I think that's problematic myself personally. But anyway, already I digress. But I'm good at that still. But it's still, hopefully, it's still all within the topic of conversation. Come on, tHe, mate. You never walk alone, son. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you see what's going on with Manchester United, yeah? I'm loving it. Oh, my gosh, loving it. Oh, the pain of Man United is just like music to my ears, man. It's like calypso in my eardrums, man. The bawling that I'm hearing, the bawling and the wailing, and we're done, shit. I love it. Was this about your sheep? Nah, tHe, mate, your sheep are good. Hopefully they've been well grass-fed in time to be slaughtered for Christmas to land on my plate, mate. So no one's talking about your sheep, man. But you're good. So yeah, all right then. So boom. Let me just line up myself, man. I'm telling you, man. Anyway, those that listen to me know that I love lamb. Oh my gosh. I do love a roast lamb, mate. Trust me. But yeah, man. So what we're going to quickly talk about today is multiculturalism, and as I've put it in the title, is multiculturalism in England, is it a net positive or a net or negative? Do you know what I mean? Is it being more positive or more negative? And I'm bringing this up because there's been certain sort of conversations that are being had over on 42 Channel Dave and a little bit on the block on that. And yeah, man, I just thought maybe we could sort of put it on the table a little bit and see what's popping. And the other part where I've put power to the SHEEPle, that bit there is really because I just want to say that it's not even that I'm surprised, actually, because to be fair, that is the way it's supposed to be, but I can't really put it in any other way than to say that the power, the main what would you call it? The common narratives, yeah, that are given to the people or to the SHEEPle, yeah. I'm quite surprised about the amount of people that swallow it hook, line, and sinker, actually. Do you know what I mean? And we got people on panels that like to call people retarded and you're a dick and all these type of things. You know what I'm saying to you? Yeah, because of certain views and opinions that they may have when it comes to certain topics. Yeah, but these persons, or this particular person, because I'm speaking about one person in particular. Yeah, all of these views and opinions are just basically straight mainstream narratives, just basic textbook stuff. You see what I'm saying to you, right? And then he will, or they will call people that question the narrative dick, you know what I mean, retarded dickheads and all the rest of it. You see what I'm saying to you? And again, I find it laughable, to be honest. I do find it laughable, but what it also shows me is the power of the mainstream narrative, basically, to put it succinctly. Do you know what I mean? For example, for myself, if you're a person that believes the narrative of 9/11, because I think there's different little acid tests to test the people in a minute to see how far they can go. You understand what I'm saying to you? And I think this most recent 2-year holiday that we've had was just another test in a long line of tests to see where the people are at. Do you know what I mean? Where the SHEEPle are. Yeah. And I think we can definitely come to the conclusion in this last 2-year holiday that that a lot of the people are definitely sheep. Do you know what I mean? Because they definitely took hook, line, and sinker what they were being told, although there was so much evidence. Do you know what I'm saying to you? Yeah, if you just dug deep enough to suggest otherwise, to suggest different from the main narrative that was being given. Yeah, and this can be the case in so many things. you see what I'm saying to you? So when I'm hearing people just blatantly calling people retards and blah 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 blah, and then you're when you come back, all you're coming back with is just a mainstream narrative. Like I said, it's laughable, man. But the sheeple, sheeple is a real term, because most of the world, and I say most in big capital letters, are definitely sheep. Because if they weren't, then certain things that are happening in certain countries, and let's even take the more developed countries, then you get me, out of the Americas, the England, the Canadas, the this, that, the other, the Australias, yeah. If it weren't so, trust me, there'll be riots in the streets, man. Yeah, there'll be riots in the streets, or at least there'll be much more opposition, social opposition. Yeah, but what I would say, there's a lot of ground for us as general public to fix our differences, but elite powers that be don't want us coinciding. No, well, you see, tHe, I agree with that. Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with that, and I think that's one of the problems, is that the world is so layered, isn't it? It is so layered, and unfortunately, it's just not like a black and white thing. Yeah, there's many Venn diagrams within the thing. But I agree with you, tHe. In a utopic world, yeah, in a utopic world, everyone would get along with everybody. You know what I mean? And there will be, there's the famous quote from Selassie that Bob Marley written a song where they said, until the color of a man's skin is, no less significant than his eyes, and blah 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 blah. Until that time, yeah, there will be war. You see what I'm saying to you, tHe? So I agree with what you're saying. Do you know what I mean? And in theory, it will be nice, but we just know that the practice is just completely different. Because, and again, and I suppose that actually is a good segue into what we're talking about, tHe. Because again, let me just highlight that, right? Yeah, so tHe says there's a lot of ground for us as the general public to fix our differences, but the elite powers that be don't want us coinciding. Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you. And I do agree with that. Yeah, I do definitely agree with that. The art of divide and rule is a serious one. It's a real one. Big up yourself, Goofy. Big up yourself. The art of divide and rule is a real one. Yeah, and many nations have been built and conquered on that very same thing. So I agree with that, tHe. And to be fair, yeah, you see, all of us need to get on the same page. How we do that, I don't know. It's going to take something for all us. You see, that's really interesting, right, tHe? Yeah, and again, it's good because it actually does come into my conversation, right? Because what I'm saying is, tHe, yeah, so let's get to the multiculturalism bit, right? I'm saying, yeah, when I was growing up, right, and I'm 70s born, when I was growing up, yeah, right, so when I was growing up, when I was a young girl, right, so I'm talking about, say young, like primary school young, right? And again, to show you how England has changed, to be fair. So when I was going primary school, whatever, when I was young, in my school there was white people, a few black people, and a few Asians. Yeah, but it was predominantly white. Okay, and sprinklings of black, like I said, Asian. Okay, and when I say Asian, that could be. I mean, them days, most Asians, from what I can remember, were more. And this is in my area as well, yeah, because different parts of London or different parts of the country accommodate different people from different places, yeah. But most of the Asians when I was growing up was like Sri Lankan, Indian, and maybe Pakistani, but not. I mean, not significant. And then the thing is, sometimes you wouldn't even know the difference in it. I'm not even gonna lie, yeah. All right, but the point I'm making definitely is that in my them days, it was just like 3 races, if you want to call it that. Yeah. Secondary school, quite similar. Do you know what I mean? Like when I was going to school, there was no Somalians, for example. Do you know what I mean? Polish and all these varying things. So that's all That's all new immigration, it could be argued, right? In my lifetime. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going off a bit. Hold on a second. I'm going off a bit. But hold on. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Let me get my head together. Because I'm fucking just... Alright. So big up everyone in the building still. You don't know the rest. Slap the like and all that good stuff. And let me just fucking get into this, man. So yep, grateful Ant, big up yourself. Right. So let me just get myself together. God damn it. Alright, quickly hold a little, hold a little vibes, man. Bloody hell.
Grand Rising class. All right. Today we're gonna learn about non-ether. Y'all ready?
Yes.
Let's go.
I'm calling segments on this one.
Non-ether flow. Non-ether flow. Non-ether flow.
My crown, kinky.
Yeah.
My skin, melanin.
Right.
I'll say it again. My skin is melanin.
Right.
Nine eat the flow, and you know I'm about to get it in. Nine eat the flow, and you know I'm about to get it in. My crown, kinky.
Yeah.
My skin, melanin.
Right.
I'll say it
Again.
My skin is melanin.
Right.
Nine eat the flow, and you know I'm about to get it in. Nine eat the flow, and you know I'm about to get it in.
That 9 is so divine, it's infinite, the highest number. Supreme mathematics, multiply any number by 9. Add the double digits together and watch you get back. I don't think you overstand, so Jay, won't you bring it back? That 9 is so divine, it's infinite, the highest number. Supreme mathematics, multiply any number by 9. Add the double digits together and what you get back. Now that you overstand, let me tell you who I am. Let's get it. Heaven, that's me. Hell, that's me. The originator, me. I am the avatar of 9. Check the follicles that I produce all the time. This my scientist flow. Don't think it's solely a rhyme. I'm the first physical being. This ain't no diss track. I came from Adam, then I was formed to an atom. That's a fact. I'm bringing awareness to my peoples. You are burning star. I'm serious, B. Watch me ignite your whole being so you can see the truth unfold. This is no unsolved mystery. We are the creators, the all in the all. I said we are the creators, the all in the all.
My crown, kinky.
Yeah.
My skin, melanin.
Right.
I'll say it again. My skin is melanin.
Right.
9 eat the flow, and you know I'm about to get it in.
Yeah.
9 eat the flow, and you know I'm about to get it in. My crown, kinky.
Yeah.
My skin, melanin.
Right.
I'll say it again. My skin is melanin.
Right.
9 eat the flow, and you know I'm about to get it in. 9 eat the flow, and you know I'm about to get it in.
I need to get away, away. Take me to a place that's tropical, so I can shine down on me. Only he can give me what I need. I need that ultraviolet, vitamin D, that's serotonin. Calm my nerve, you know I'm on it. By the way, Rob, produce me some more melatonin. I'm the fifth element, I'm lead low in this. I can make Zor go by boom in this. I'm metaphysical and alchemist in this. I ain't cursing on the track, my daughter gonna dance to this. I'm earth, water, air, and fire. I'm a walking planet, I'm here to give you what you desire. I got the right knowledge, the right mind, I can't go wrong with this. I got the right knowledge, the right mind, I can't go wrong with this.
My crown, kinky.
Yeah.
My skin, melanin.
Right.
I'll say it again.
Again.
My skin is melanin.
Right.
9 eat the flow, and you know I'm about to get it in.
9 eat the flow, and you
Big
know
up
I'm
yourself,
about to get it
Barbara.
in. My crown,
Kaz, big up
Yeah.
yourself. Good morning, all
melanin. I'll
that
say
stuff.
it again. My skin is melanin.
Right.
9 eat the flow, and you know I'm about to get it in. 9 eat the flow, to get it in.
Yeah. All right. I'm back. Don't know how to wake up my melanin and that. Come back again. All right. Let's do this. Yeah, come on, Bunga, man. Yeah, listen. You thought there's only Shameless in Manchester. Oh God, man. Anyway, we won't even get into that just now. But yeah, man. So I'm glad that some of the we had St. Basil was saying that he had Polish, Ukrainian, Caribbean, Indian, Pakistani in his class. Grateful Ant said, so I'm good. And if you lot in the chats could sort of say what it was like when you was growing up, like what sort of ethnicities you may have grown up with, that would be good still. Grateful Ant said, when I was at school in the 80s, it seemed like it was equal white, black, and Asian, but Asians was just Asian. No one labeled them by religion. I would probably have to agree with that still, to be fair. I'd probably have to agree with that. That's why I even said before, I said Asians, but sometimes you didn't necessarily know if they were Pakistani, this, that, and the other. Maybe sometimes via dress, or there might have been certain what do you call them? Like, gosh, yeah. It's true though. It's true. So that's the 80s. So it's white, black, and Asian. Yeah. So that's pretty much what I was saying. Taffy's saying he was born 76, but he grew up in South Wales. Even today, multiculturalism isn't like it is in England. Okay. I'm presuming you're saying that there's not that many immigrants, etc., that has got to Wales. But I expect all people, so I live in hope we can put our differences aside going forward. Okay. And that's fair. Now, you see, what I want to say to that, is, big up yourself, Big Age. You see, what I want to say to that is, and this is what I was saying, I've said it before when I've done a little stream on myself about, when I was growing up and that. But I'm saying when I was growing up, right, I think that the different nationalities, whatever the fuck you want to call them, right, we mixed naturally. Yeah, you mixed at school. You know what I mean? You might have mixed in youth clubs. If you used to, I don't know, do football or whatever sports, you might have mixed there, right? But it was a natural thing. Yeah. And like I said, when I was growing up, we had most of our neighbors were white. To get me, we had Scottish neighbors them times, Irish. You know what I mean? It was a whole melting pot. Do you know what I mean? But they all had their own identities as well, though, right? Scottish people had their identity, Irish had theirs, this, that, and the other. Yeah. And I think that we were sort of coming together naturally, like working through our differences naturally, because obviously there were differences, yeah. So let's not be silly, right? But I think it was more so. I don't know if I want to use the word holistic, right? But then I just remember a time under, I'm sure it was Labour, New Labour, where they started to push this multiculturalism narrative. Do you know what I mean? They started to push it. And like I will say, I don't know if it was on the block or on days whereby, all of a sudden now you just start seeing different languages in certain literature. Do you know what I mean? In the schools, you got welcome in 25, 30 different languages. Do you know what I mean? I definitely remember a time where, because the people them started to complain that, you're getting different council literature and it's coming in so many different languages. You know what I'm saying to you? And then there was an argument that if you keep doing that, it's not going to encourage these said persons to integrate, to learn the language, blah, 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 and all the rest of it. Yeah. So I'm just saying that second bit to say how I'm just trying to, in my mind, highlight the difference in what I'm calling sort of just naturally people with differences coming together, as opposed to them being forced together. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's the first differentiation I definitely want to make. Yeah. And then my next question is, do we think, and I'm asking the people in the chat, obviously, like, do you think that multiculturalism in Britain has been a net positive or a net negative? Do you know what I mean? Now we are in 2023, you know, you've had, obviously there's been different waves of immigration in Britain. Do you know what I mean? Different ways from different places. Yeah. So I'm asking the question, like, is it successful in Britain? I guess I don't know if that's too blunt a question. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, are there net positives or net negatives? You know? And yeah, like I was saying to Taffy in terms of this comment, I hope we can all put our differences aside going forward. You see, I think there's misconception as to what in terms of differences. I think there's sort of misconceptions, and that's another thing, not on this stream, but I know another time I do want to have a conversation about, because obviously in this sort of corner of YouTube, we've all got to know each other digitally, as it were. And whether we've got the right handles on each other, yeah, I mean, that could be argued. But for example, I'm asking the question, have us, for example, in this corner of YouTube, has it changed your, like, for example, listening to, I don't know, black people, has it changed your opinion on black people? Do you know what I'm saying to you? Anyway, no, forget that one. I haven't lined that one up properly. Forget that one. Mushy Peas was from Uganda when Idi Amin kicked out the Indians. Don't understand that. I grew up with my Irish cousins, but they went to different schools to me. All right. In school, there was just one black kid, no Asian, just us valley cunts. Now I see it, but today I got a 9-year-old daughter. Her future is key. And what I see on YouTube, for example, we see miles apart, but it's prayer arguments that are easily sorted. Okay. You see, because that's what you see, it's my daughter is now in Dominica visiting her mother's side of the family. Oh, say nothing, Goofy, say nothing. All right. So you took multiculturalism serious, good stuff. No, but going back to what I was saying though, yeah, because obviously at the moment, yeah, obviously we know that there's a lot of conversations being had about immigration, the boats, the illegals, and all these varying things. Yeah. Now, flippantly, I say it's chickens coming home to roost. Yeah, and I do mean that. Don't get me wrong, I do mean that. Yeah, but in terms of the conversation, yeah, yeah, because again, we're speaking about multiculturalism, and I'm saying that that's been forced upon the country. And I'm saying, let me even talk from my perspective. I think forced multiculturalism is not a good thing. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? And I think when, I'm sure it's Labour that done it, you know, I'm sure it's under New Labour. I'm saying that when that begun, yeah, I think it sort of put the country's race relations back a bit. Personally, I do. Because now you've got a feeling, whether it's right or wrong, yeah, by some of the indigenous, whereby they believe, yeah, that that they are not as important, you get me, as you know, other persons or other nationalities or immigrants or whatever you want to call it, yeah. And you know what I mean, if we listen to some of these streams, we can hear certain people sort of making them kind of noises. And that's fair enough. Yeah, that's fair enough. Because at that point, all I say to those persons is, well, don't look at the low-hanging fruit. Do you know what I mean? Look at the government. Do you know what I mean? Like, who do you blame for this? You get me? Because I'm definitely saying that the government or the powers that be are selling you down the fucking Thames. Do you know what I mean? But obviously, we know that the immigrants are the low-hanging fruit, so those are the easiest persons to blame, yeah. But there's no way that all of this immigration could be happening, whether it be legal or illegal, without the government being involved. Yeah, like I said before, if England wanted to protect their shorelines, they could certainly do that. Yeah, the England's got a very, very good navy, this, that, and the other, whatever. Between them and France, if they really no, let's forget France. If England wanted to stop it, they could. You know what I mean? They could. Yeah, but there's a reason why they're allowing it. You know what I'm saying to you? Yeah, and then that goes to the wider issue with that. Yeah, but hold on, because I had. Let me just go find something. The government for sure, but we vote them in. So, well, we vote them in. I mean, yeah, loosely we vote them in, but. And that's just another thing, like, you know, countries like England, America are running around trying to export democracy, this, that, and the other. But how democratic a nation are we really living in? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it gives the guise of democracy, and you know what I mean. But how democratic is it really? Do they really listen to the people? Remember, they're supposed to be there to hear and represent us. Yeah, but there's been many times, like I said, just in my lifetime, where they definitely haven't listened to the people. They definitely have not listened to the people. Do you know what I mean? So democracy, loosely, but at the end of the day, once they've got a plan, they're going through with that plan. Yeah, regardless of what you and I say, they're going through. You know what I mean? So again, you know what I mean? Again, I'm saying that we're England and the likes are out there exporting democracy, but do you know what I mean? How democratic a nation are we actually living in? Do you know what I mean? Because I would say not very. I mean, look how many. I mean, if I didn't know before, when the way in which I saw how England or the government of that time took us in to the second Iraq war, yeah. When I witnessed that, that's when I knew that, yeah, it's just Chitans, man. When I saw that, when I saw the skullduggery and the twisting and the turning and the manipulation of the people to get into that war, it was disgusting. Yeah, because the people then were blatantly saying, no, we don't want to go into that war. They marched on the streets. You know what I mean? If you listen to the political broadcasts at the time, people was like, no, allow it, man. It's not our war. Allow it. And they lied and they fucking, if you don't remember about Dr. Kelly and all of these, they sent my man over there. The man come back and he said, there is no weapons of mass destruction. You understand what I'm saying to you? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah? They didn't listen to him. Remember, he was the expert. They sent him in to tell us what's happening. He's come back and is like, nah, there's no WMDs, blah, 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 blah. 2-2s, my man's gone out for a jog. Yeah? Gone out for a jog. You understand what I'm saying to you? Ended up dead in the forest. You understand what I'm saying to you? Listen. Oh, God, man. Yeah? And then you're going to have these little fucking people that would be calling people retards. You get me? Yeah? Remember, Blair had to come and tell the people them that there could be a Scud missile in 45 minutes or seconds or whatever next piece of bullshit he said to get us into the war. You see what I'm saying to you? Yeah? So, I'm just saying all that to say that, yeah, what sort of democracy is this? But I went off a little bit. All right, tHe. Right, the valleys are no-go zone for black people. A black man got attacked down them parts not so long ago. Big up, man. Well, you see, and I mean, and this is what I'm trying to say, yeah? I mean, I've even got a video. I don't even know if I would play it still, but my sister sent me. But, you know, there's certain things that are alive and well in Britain, man. I mean, Valley Skinner is still active in 2023. It's peak. Listen, you know, see, And you know what? I'm glad, happy for you to even sort of bring that up, man, because as much as great strides have been made in England in terms of race relations and that, do you know what I mean? There are still, people out here that may not like different types of people, So we can't expect them. You can't expect racism to be wiped out overnight, neither. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So we've got to keep it real like that. I mean, but definitely, it has changed. It's definitely got a bit better, but a lot of it is now covert. It means deception. Yeah, isn't there areas for many though? I heard they were controlled by. Yeah, Louise is saying, isn't there areas for many though? I heard there were no-go areas controlled by Muslims. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I believe that to be a fact too. I mean, just in saying that, actually, and I have sort of spoke about this before once, I'm sure, but again, when I saw the sort of the power of Muslims, if we want to call it that, right, was when I was in, obviously you don't know, I went Birmingham uni, whatever, yeah, and this was a little while ago as well, right? And in Birmingham there was a place, I fucking forgot its name now. There was a place, yeah. But basically, it was like a little prostitution area. Yeah, they had like a prostitution problem in this area. I think it was Allen Rock or something like that. Yeah, I don't wanna say it wrong, but it may have been Allen Rock. But basically, it was a little prostitution place, right? And basically, the Muslims shut it down. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying to you? They basically just let them know that there's no hoeing around here. Yeah, so I thought that was quite interesting still, do you know what I mean? And obviously I was from London as well. So and so I wasn't used to that sort of what do you call it? Asian Muslim power, whatever. I don't know if that's the best way to put it, because them days in London, most Asians were really sort of in like Southall, blah 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 blah. But you know what I mean? So there wasn't like, and in my area there wasn't like a high concentration of Asians. You see what I'm saying to you? Where, yeah, you understand what I'm saying to you? There was like a high concentration of Asians, yeah. So it was only when I went to Birmingham to go uni that I actually saw like Asians in it. Like I've told the story before. I remember me and my dad, we went up there to go and check it out and whatever, and we come out of the car. We parked up, come out of the car, and we just saw bare Asian youths playing in that bare, and we were just like, wow, yeah, because we weren't used to seeing Asian children on the street playing. Because, like I said, when I was growing up, the Asians weren't really, yeah, they weren't playing. And again, if they were, it wasn't en masse like that. Not in my area. Do you know what I mean? So when I went Birmingham, that's when I really was like, yeah, bloody hell. Do you know what I mean? So again, not to digress, but I'm just saying that, you know what I mean, along, being up there, whatever, like I said, I see that they locked down the whole place. Like they just said, no hoeing around here, none, and they stopped it. He actually stopped it. Do you know what I mean? So obviously that could be argued that's a good thing in that they're stopping hoeing, but I guess if you take it to that nth degree, do you know what I mean, as an indigenous white person, you might think, well, fuck me. If they can stop that, do you know what I mean? What else can they stop? Same here. I don't know any areas up my city with no-go zones. Basil said in Bradford, Lum Lane was the red light area and was within a Caribbean area of the city. The Pakistani moved in and drove out the prostitutes. There you go, man. There you go, man. There you go. And that's Bradford. In Bradford, Lum Lane was the red light area and was within a Caribbean area of the city. The Pakistani community moved in and drove out the prostitutes. I tell you, boy. I'm telling you. Now, you see, lots of Muslim girls wear layers of makeup and fake eyelashes, and that's all haram. Okay. The lodger says, 9, I come from, hold on, South London, West Norwood. Big up Northern West Norwood, Brixton, Stockwell. Went to school in Streatham, grew up in Council Estate. Everyone looked out for everyone, irrespective of colour. Yeah, I definitely would agree. I would agree with that. Like back in the day, definitely, I would agree with that, man. 100%. That's what I was saying. I'm saying, Lodger, that back in the day, it was more of a natural coming together. Do you know what I mean? And I'm just saying that since this multiculturalism narrative, I just think that, yeah, it's kind of forced the issue and sort of taking it back a bit. Oh dear. Oh, shots fired. Someone said they stopped it easily because it was their own sons who were the pimps. And yeah, I mean, and to be fair, yeah, and I've said this, yeah, let me come back to that still. Jeez, on Code Barber Studios in the building. Big up yourself, Code. Big up yourself. This is if I mean, I want to groom young girls. There's a problem with the Asian men. Right, I don't know if I'm yeah, crystal meth. I don't know about. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's definitely been spoken about. What I would say though, right? Because you know my team, Truth and Rights, and that. And again, going back to my experience in Birmingham, because Birmingham actually taught me a lot about Asians and this, that, and the other. Because like I said previously to that, I didn't really have much dealings with them in that regard. But I definitely could say that I saw certain Asian men deal with certain, white girls. I wait still. Yeah. But I didn't, but obviously them days, I'm not saying that they were grooming them or whatever, but I definitely know that there were some of these Asian men that were having relationships with these white girls and that, but like, and this is what, and I've said to the, I've even said it to the man them before, like the difference is like them man there, they deal with them gal there, but they would leave them there. Do you know what I mean? You know, whether they've left them in the pub, in the car, in the whatever, they're leaving them there. Like, never the two shall mix. You get me? Like, that white girl was not going into that Asian family, etc., etc., etc. Do you know what I mean? But again, I digress. Whereas we would take them, our men take them to the funeral, the party, the christening, the wedding. But yeah. Back a day, them man, they was moving mad with. Yeah, all right then. So you see, son, line me, I tell. Yeah, man, I see it, man. I see it, man. But like I'm saying, they kept the two separate. That's one thing I will say about them. They kept their white girls separate to their families and their blah 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 blah. But yeah, that's a whole different story still. Look at the black Christian preacher who was attacked at Speaker's Corner, weak by the religion of peace. In fact. All right, but now you see, okay, right. So when we talk about multiculturalism, then right, because like I can already see. Hold on a sec. Where's this thing? Where is it? I just wanted to come and bring some stats. Hold on a sec. Where's the bloody thing? As you can see a little bit in my thumbnail, let me see if I can put it up now. Hold on. Because one of my questions is, right, but let's not get thingy though, because remember, in England, like one thing I will say though is many years ago, when I was a young girl coming up, one thing I used to say is there's gonna be a time whereby, this is what I used to say for real, whereby like they're gonna wish they're gonna wish that all the immigrants were like us. You get me? And I mean, well, like us, I was really speaking about the Windrush ones in particular. Do you know what I mean? Because what I think is sort of the difference now in, if you want to call it multiculturalism, is I think in the original, you see, it's so hard to. So obviously, you know that a lot of West Indians and Africans as well, obviously are coming from colonized lands, yeah. But the point I'm making is that we insert as you will, still sort of had or had English ways about us, right? Because it could be argued because obviously England had exported that, right? Just like in other African countries who had been Islamicized, if that's the right word, yeah, they will have more sort of Muslim traits about them, Islamic traits about them. Obviously, many of the countries that we came from were Christian countries. You get me? So the point I'm making is that many of the people that came in the Windrush, etc., they already came with a lot of, if you want to call it, British principles. You know what I mean? Like I said, Christianity would have been a common religion, blah, 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 blah. Yeah? So that's that. Now, obviously, in this more newer wave of immigration, it could be argued that there's been people coming from now different nations, right? Different parts of the world, right? Where they came up under a different cultural and whatever, yeah? And it may have been, not even may, and it was, and Islamically based, okay? Right? And, you know, we've heard these conversations so much in the past. And I mean, I'm sure if we refer back to some speakers calling debates, this, that, and the other, we can appreciate what we're talking about, right? So, and even now when you hear certain things, and even the chats, it seems like it's Muslim that people are highlighting, right? Now, that could be for varying reasons, yeah? But certainly, I'm just making the point, going back to what I said about there's going to be a time when they're going to wish that all the immigrants were like us, you get me? Because obviously now what we're finding is that with this different cultural, what would you call it, presence, you know what I'm saying to you, yeah? And this different religious presence as well, i.e. Islam, you know what I'm saying to you, which is obviously a very, remember, because Islam is the second religion in the world in terms of numbers, yeah, okay, after Christianity or Christianity showed Catholicism or whatever, yeah. So I've lost my trail of thought, Rotted. All right, let me read the chats. I've lost my trail of thought. Hold on. Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah. So I think that's probably another sort of potential, not problem, issue, I don't know, but the fact that obviously there's cultural differences now with a lot of the new immigrants. You know what I'm saying to you? So I'm saying that's what I'm saying, and what I'm saying in time to come, they're gonna wish they was all like us. You get me? Because we didn't get no hoes out of no areas. Big up yourself, Stu. I lived on an estate in East London, so-called no-go area, nicknamed the Bronx. Load of bollocks, all got on grey, Asian, black and white. Mark, someone said you was a 14-year-old Asian, so is that true? Nines, people cool where black people, the Windrush reside in Britain, ghettos, and that's a normalized terms. Nice, people cool where black people, the Windrush reside in Britain, ghettos, and that's a normalized term used by non-blacks. Yeah. I'm probably not gonna argue with that still. Yeah, but to be fair, that's probably even predates the Windrush and that, man, because that would have been happening in America as well. So, and the original ghettos were actually Jewish, if my mind serves me correctly. The original ghettos were where the Jews were. But you see how that changes. Pauline Black was a folk singer down Bond Street, Coventry. She joined the band Selector and found success. Yeah, right. So, yeah, back to the... So, in terms of multiculturalism, yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say. I'm saying that... and I think there's people in the chats that are really sort of backing up what I'm saying, in that back in the days, people were coming up together just naturally. Do you know what I mean? And different things were bringing, and different things brought people together. Music was definitely one, I think, that in my lifetime has brought different nations and races together. I think for those of you that are sort of old enough to remember, like You know, like the early days of like house and garage, and more so, no, not house and garage, more so house. Do you know what I mean? But you know what I mean? When you went raving to certain musics, you'll just see everybody. Yeah, and that's why I'm saying that they had to shut. That's why I'm saying that the government had to shut that shit down. Like, you know, that what they call the illegal raves. Like those of you that know about, you know what I mean, the field raves in the 80s and whatever, the phone call situations and blah 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 blah. And do you know what I mean? Leah Betts and yeah, that's what I'm saying to you. But you see that time, yeah, that I'm telling you, that was such a sweet, sweet time, man, because people were coming together naturally. Yeah. And probably, and let's not be silly, probably certain certain paraphernalia, you see what I'm saying to you, probably helped the situation as well. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? But the people that were coming together again in football, do you know what I mean? It broke boundaries. Certain things broke boundaries. So it was happening naturally, you know? But I just think once they start to force it upon the people, I think a little bit of resistance, or if not resistance, what's the word? If not resistance, I can't think of a better word. Do you know what I mean? But you know, because you know they don't want it. The people, you know, I'm sure the indigenous people don't really want it rammed down their throat, right? Which I could appreciate, because if I was in my own land where I'm the majority, you get me, and you know, we're gonna have something to say about it for real, for real. So Louise is saying it's difficult for me to relate to be honest. We didn't have much multicultural when I grew up. And I get that, Louise, because another thing that we have to, and that's what I'm trying to say, another thing that we have to remember, that in England, when it comes to multiculturalism, like England is, all right, it's not a big place, yeah, but it's, you know, the point being is that most multiculturalism only happens in the cities, yeah, the main cities, that your London, obviously, your Birmingham, yeah, you're Nottingham, Liverpool, Manchester, you know what I mean, Leeds to lesser extents and whatever. But then apart from that, the rest of England is still very, very, very white. You know, and even in, and like I said before, even in right here in England, in London, where it's probably the most multicultural part of the country, there are still many places in England where you'll go and it is still very, very white. Do you know what I mean? So I think we have to remember that as well, because there's still a lot of people in Britain or in England that really hasn't had much dealings with people or with non-English people. Do you know what I mean? Like if they've lived and stayed in their village all their life, this, that, and the other, and they don't come down to the cities like London or Birmingham or Liverpool, whatever, for any reason, you get me? Then they are still very much within, do you know what I mean? Their cultural bubble, if you want to call it that. You know? Many places. I mean, I'm sure there's people that of color that can sort of come and testify as to, you know, parts of England that they've been on their job and that. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, they're experiencing that old time, you know, that old timeism, man. You know, I've definitely been to places in Britain whereby, yeah, it's still multiculturalism has not entered their building yet. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just saying that in that regard, you know, let's you know, that's, yeah, we've come a long way, but there's still a way to go. Sunday morning football, everyone got to experience multiculturalism. Again, I would have to agree. Like I said, you've heard me say, like, football, you know, is definitely a sport that has brought groups together. Do you know what I mean? You can even now see, I know it's a bit mad, but even again to see the change, because you can previously certain what would you call it? Certain communities weren't even allowed to think about playing football as a professional sport and all the rest of it. Yeah, and I'm saying to you, no, they're going to be doctors, lawyers, this, that, and the other. Whereas now, and again, this could be part of the cultural changes within different parts of the community. You know what I mean? Some of them are being allowed to sort of look at that as a you know, as a pathway in that. And you'll even see more people, or Asians, Somalians, blah, 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 playing, you know, football down the park, this, that, and the other. So, whereas before, they wouldn't necessarily do that. Yeah, well, cricket again. Cricket's a different thing still, but yeah, definitely Asians have always been about their cricket still. Okay, Gain saying you hardly find multiculturalism in depraved areas such as Grimsby. Well, that's what I'm saying, Gain. There's a lot of places in England that are still white and bright. You know what I mean? For real, for real. All major cities are multicultural due to economic solutions. However, some are segregated. Some segregated. 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 Yeah, I'd probably. Is it segregated, or is it just that blocks of people buy houses in certain areas, or is it actual segregation? Because I don't know, man. I think it's when we start just flinging out this word segregation, I think we got to be very. I mean, segregation. So let me ask you a question, yeah? If you've got someone that lives here, that's lived in England for 30, 40 years, yeah, and I was speaking about this in the blog, and because of the way that their thing is set up, right? So, for example, I got a Turkish friend, yeah, and her parents or whatever, they don't speak no English, or they speak very little, and I'm saying Turkish because that they're like a more recent wave, right? But they don't speak no English, you know. Their doctor is Turkish, their dentist is Turkish, the shop they go to is Turkish. I mean, they don't go to, I don't, is it white plate? I mean, I don't know, but I'm asking the question, is that segregation? Is that segregation? Would you not say that is segregation, or is that just someone, I don't know, living within their community? Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm asking the question because, again, you've got Asians that have been here 30, 40 years, and it's a similar situation. Like, because everything around them is of theirs and their people, and they don't necessarily need to go into the wider society where they're going to buck up the white indigenous or other persons, you know what I mean, other communities. So I'm asking the question, is that segregation, or is that just people living within their community? I don't know. But no God zones don't apply to me because I am handsome. Yeah, so I don't know. What do you lot think about that? Is that segregation? Because I think the word segregation just being bandied around a little bit do you know what I mean? Erroneously, to be fair. Because because I don't know. And I think I even heard someone talk about, because people, that's what I say, people like to misrepresent what people say in that. Yeah. It's like they don't want to integrate. Yeah, okay. I mean, I would maybe take that they may not want to integrate, but is that segregation? I mean, don't get me wrong, yeah. I do think it's a bit mad where you can have people living here for that many years, you get me? I do think at the very least that they should try to learn the language, I would say. Especially if you've got children, right? Because working in education as I did, a lot of children had to interpretate for their parents, this, that, and the other. You see what I'm saying to you? And although this can be a good thing, it can also be a bad thing, because you got to trust that child to be honest in their translation. Do you know what I mean? Especially if it's an issue where the child might be in trouble, this, that, and the other. And again, I remember under New Labour, ESOL was like, there was so much money being put into ESOL and that, and encouraging these different persons from around the world or whatever to learn English. You see what I'm saying to you? And it was all free as well. And some just blatantly didn't want to. And And yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that it's really, I do think it's important that you should be able to speak or at least communicate in the language of the country in which you live in. But then at the same time, you understand me, the English are known for not learning other people's languages when they go to their countries, whether to visit or live. So, you know what I mean? It's a bit of give and take, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Because you got people living in Spain or whatever, like expats or whatever. And again, they're not trying to learn the language because it's a similar situation. Like they may be in Spain, but everything that they're dealing with, everywhere that they're going, English is being spoken, you know? So, do you know what I mean? What's good for the good? Goose has got to be good for the gander as well, unfortunately. Do you know what I mean? Wavy saying it's self-imposed isolation. Yeah, I'm sure in some instances, that could be said. Sorry to put Kel in this, but here's an example here. Kel, I don't know say this. Now, you see, I'm not sure if I agree with that, and that's what I'm trying to say about. I don't know about that. Don't like that word one bit. What word, Taffy? Carnitos, let's just say some Turkish are whiter than others. I don't know what you got to talk about there. What word, Taffy? Oh, I didn't mention that word. But yeah, self-isolate. I guess there is a bit of that still. But like I said, I think it's important, you know, to be able to loosely communicate, especially, like I said, within like maybe education or if you have to go to the hospital. Do you know what I mean? Things like that. But, you know, again, that's and like I said, there was a time when England was spending a lot of money in not only translating. I remember like everything at a translation service and this and that. So like I would say that at that time England definitely spent money on multiculturalism. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if it was England or the EU actually. And that's the thing as well, right? A lot of people notice and speak about multiculturalism from, you know, countries, non-white countries, for example. Yeah. But not much is said about bloody hell, nines, multiculturalism from white countries. Yeah. And do we have those that have a problem with multiculturalism? Is it all multiculturalism that a problem is had with, or just you know, non-white multiculturalism? Because like I said before, yeah, I believe that for the majority, the Brexit was about immigration, essentially. If you remember a lot of the rhetoric around the time, do you know what I mean? They were definitely trying to scare the people them into thinking that, and you can still hear residue of it now, because obviously a lot of people think that, you know, England's in danger of being overrun by fucking, you know, whomever, whatever. Yeah. Oh, the word segregation. Yeah. I mean, because I don't know. I don't think England is. I don't know. I know there's areas that are definitely heavily populated by one set or another, but I'm not sure if I'm willing to call that segregation at this point. But hold on a second. Let me see now. Right, let me see if I can share this. Let me see if I can share this. Hold on a second. All right, Goofy says he disagrees with that. It was about self-governance and accountability. I I don't know, Goofy, man. I don't think that was the ticket, man. I think no, I don't know. I think that the Brexit was definitely, they definitely had the people them scared about immigration and all of these varying things, man. It was Brexit, saying Brexit was about stopping white Europeans coming in, but EDL thought it stops Asian and Africans there. See, I would agree with that to a certain extent. I do believe that, do you know what I mean, rightly or wrongly, a lot of persons voted for Brexit because they did think it was going to stop the the flow of brown skinned people. I've got to be real, man. I do. I definitely do. I do. Yeah, and then they were forgetting that a lot of the workers at that time were actually white European workers, because even now, like certain what do you call it? Not systems, but what do you call it? Certain industries in England haven't even recovered from Brexit because a lot of the workers were actually European. Yeah, the health service, the care service is definitely certain agricultural sectors. Yeah, they ain't got the pickers and all these varying things because a lot of them were European workers. Yeah, a lot of them were actual European workers, and you know, we're definitely gonna regret leaving. But you see, they try to talk about sovereignty and governance. You know what I mean? But even like yesterday, I was talking to this guy on Dave's 42 Channels Dave's show. Yeah. And he was sort of saying the same thing about sovereignty, you know, leaving, you know, and we had quite a really interesting conversation on our next show. I'm going to try and bring him on because we spoke about some good shit, man. But what I was going to say is that obviously he was in agreements with Goofy saying about, you know, sovereignty, this, that, and the other. But like I was saying to him, and he did agree, like, you know, this sovereignty thing, it's another ruse, man. It's another ruse because you may have sort of unattached yourself from quote unquote Europe and that, but you're still attached to the greater powers that be anyway. Yeah, and you're still running their agenda. You know what I'm saying to you? And the agenda over this way and the agenda over that way is the same agenda anyway. You know what I mean? At some point the two are going to meet. You get me? So again, I'm just saying that whole sovereignty thing, it's just another ruse, man, because again, when you see sovereignty, that would imply, yeah, that, you know, England as a nation, you know what I mean? When you say sovereignty, that England is like a collective nation or a cohesive collective nation. But as again, we were speaking about yesterday, you know, the UK is actually a PLC. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? The UK is actually a PLC. You understand what I'm saying to you? Yeah. And again, we won't go into this now, but again, we touched upon it yesterday. But it's you know, the UK is a PLC. You know, the centre of London. Yeah, and you know, I mean, if you don't know about all them thing there, that means the city of London is a city within itself. It's got its own governance. It's got its own police. Blah 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 blah. The same in America in terms of the District of Columbia, etc., etc., etc. And then it's a similar thing for the Vatican. Yes, I'm saying to you, right? So I said all that to say that again, there is no sovereignty because, you know, it's all bollocks. It's all bollocks, man. But right, let me see. Gain right about that one particular point. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can't find my cheap Polish carpenters and builders now. I've got to use Punjabis, and English costs a fortune. And you know what? I mean, I'm sure Gaines sort of being a little bit flippant, but it's a true thing though, because, and I think, and again, I think that's another reason why some people voted as well. Do you know what I mean? Because, you know, you did have a lot of tradespeople at that time sort of complaining about being undercut, this, that, and the other, Do you know what I mean? And oftentimes the quality of the quote unquote immigrants was just as good as the Englishman, this, that, and the other, but at a fraction of the price. So I did hear such things. So I think that was another reason why some voted for Brexit, because they thought that their sectors were being taken over. Taffy said, "We segregated now. England, Scotland, Ireland, Wales was enough for me." I mean, I don't know, like, but that's not that's not segregation, is it? They just wanted their independence from England, innit? But I don't know if we call that segregation. But the far right in England also benefited from European white radicals. But the far right in England also benefited from European white radicals. But the far right in England also benefited from European white. Not sure if I understand that. I mean, I believe the far right are increasing around Europe. I believe that to be the case at the moment. Brexit may have saved us from this growing far right European nationalism. Okay. I guess that's a fair point, I suppose. I don't know though, man. They'll just find something else to complain about, but maybe. All right, let me see. Well, I don't know if you lot can see that on the screen. Oh, I think that's as big as I can make it. All right, so I don't know if you lot can see on the screen, but I thought it was an interesting graphic still. And let's see. And I'm saying that to say if sometimes perception and truth can be way different. So I'm not sure if you lot can see it, but I'll try and read it off just to show you some of the stats that is given, yeah? So it said the New Britain by numbers. And this is saying 7% increase in population of England and Wales since 2001. And in fact, I'm not, how old is this actually? Can I tell? Hold on a sec. Can I see how? See? Can I see? Sorry, I was trying to see when it was posted, family. Hold on. But anyway, let's see what. So they're saying 7% increase in population of England and Wales since 2001, and they're putting this at 56.1 million, up 3.7. So this might be a little bit old actually, because I'm sure it's far more than that now. Okay. Right, so it says proportion of people aged 16 and over who are married. Okay, all right. So they again in 1971, people 16 and over that were married was 68%. In 1981, that number went down to 65%. In 1991, that went down to 57%. I think these must be quite old, family. Hold on a sec. I probably could have done better with these. 2001, it was 51%. 2011, it was 47%. So if we were to sort of go with that natural trajectory, we'd say now it's about what? Maybe, and in 2023, it might be about what, 42%, something like that. If we were to follow those stats. Right, the next one here, it says religious beliefs, percent of population, England and Wales. So this is 2011. So like I said, this is out a little bit still. But it says Christian was 59%. No religion was 25%. Not stated was 7.2%. And Muslim was 5% at that time. And this, they had that figure as being 2,706,000. Hindu at 817,000, 1.5%, Sikh 0.8%, Jewish 0.5%, Buddhist 0.4%, and other 0.4%. Yeah, so at that point, like Christian was 59%, no religion was 25%. So I would say that now in 2023, I think those figures have probably changed quite a bit, to be fair. I think there's probably more people that are now saying no religion, and maybe more people maybe saying Muslim. I'm not sure. What's this next one? It goes top 10 countries from where non-UK born residents came. Okay, and again, this is going back 2011. So it says this from the okay. So the majority using these was coming from India. It said the 2001 census, it said it was 456,000 people. In the 2011 census, that number went up to 694,000 people from India. Yeah. So this is the top 10 countries from where non-UK born residents came. Yeah. So these are people not born in Britain. Okay. The next one was Poland, and they have that at, in 2001, it was 68,000. And in 2011, that number had become 579,000. So that's quite a significant increase in Polish. Pakistan, again, 2001, it was at 308,000. And in 2011, that had gone up to 482,000. Republic of Ireland, 2001 was 473,000, and 2011 theirs actually went down to 407,000. So Irish actually went down. Germany was at 244,000, and it's went up to 274,000. So okay. All right, and this is under New Labour, actually. This is under New Labour. Bangladeshi, 153,000 in 2001, and it went up to 212,000. Nigeria was 88,000. It went up to 191,000. South Africa was 132,000. It went up to 191,000. The United States was 144,000, and it went up to 177,000. And Jamaica was 146,000, and it went up to 160,000. That's quite interesting. So, according to those figures, and like I said, it's going back to 2011, the highest population born outside of England came from India, then Poland, then Pakistan. Okay. 4.7 million number of residents holding a non-UK passport. EU 2.3 million, foreign 2.4 million. All right, family. So sorry, I just read those out. I don't know. Are those figures in line with what you would have been thinking? And actually, you see there, so they're saying that India had the highest amount, right? And let me see if I can, because this is what I'm saying about perception, man, and propaganda and narratives. Do you know what I mean? And that's why I say sometimes the immigrants are just the low hanging fruit, right? So let me quickly play something else just to bring some other different stats. I did play this before, but I think it's worth another play still. All right. So this guy is going to just quickly break down. See, it says the hidden truth about the record number of immigrants coming into the UK. Okay. So let me.
You think about immigration in.
Right. Big up yourself, Buddage. Happy Thursday.
To the UK the same way after this video as you do now, then I will be legitimately shocked. Do you know why immigration into the UK is at record levels? Why the UK is so-called overpopulated and the national services are at breaking point? It can be pinned down to two main things. One, the war in Ukraine, and two, Brexit definitely doesn't mean Brexit.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled.
Hold on, family. Look, I'm gonna have to read. I don't know why. It just stopped like that. 1 second, family. Let's see if I can reload it. Or, okay. Let's try again.
They wanted to teach you, they would, but they won't, so I will. If you think about immigration into the UK the same way after this video as you do now, then I will be legitimately shocked. Do you know why immigration into the UK is at record levels? Why the UK is so-called overpopulated and the national services are at breaking point? It can be pinned down to two main things. One, the war in Ukraine, and two, Brexit definitely doesn't mean Brexit.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived.
In 2022, the UK had 1.2 million immigrants, with just over 500,000 people leaving, meaning that there were just over 600,000 more people that came into the UK than left it. And it's true that that is the most that the UK's ever seen since records began. But the true reason why that number is so large is something that's been kept a secret from all of us. Well, not if you look, but most people can't be bothered to look through the data, but I can. And what I found will shock you. Of the 1.2 million people that came to the UK in 2022, 925,000 of them came from non-EU countries. That's 80% of all UK immigrants. Now, the Daily Mail readers amongst us might just start thinking, well, it's the refugees and the small boats coming here illegally. And as per usual, they would be wrong. Refugees only make up 6% of all immigrants and 8% of immigrants that come from non-EU countries. If you group together all of the refugees that came in 2022, you just about fill Old Trafford. And the government that we have right now would love to tell you that immigration needs to stop and it's out of control. But what they won't tell you is of the extra 287,000 non-EU immigrants that came into the UK in 2022 compared to 2021, almost half of them were from Ukraine through a scheme that they created and implemented. But that is just the surface of the hypocrisy. And that then might make you wonder, well, where did the rest of the non-EU immigrants come from? And that would be a very good question. And 39% of them were international students who in the year of 2021 to 2022 contributed 42 billion Great British pounds into the UK economy. It's not bad. And they tend to leave right after graduation because the grass is literally greener back home in most cases. I mean, I don't know a young person in the UK that isn't struggling right now. I always find it funny that people from the UK always view immigration as a negative thing and talk about what immigrants take away from the UK rather than what they add. And they definitely add a lot. But by far, the funniest thing that I found through running through all of these numbers was that the largest increase of non-EU immigrants into the UK came through work visas. Now, you might think much like me, how is it in 1 year from 2021 to 2022 has the amount of work visas for non-EU immigrants increased by 100,000? Because the government are trying to control immigration into the UK. Immigration is always their main focus come election time, and it was the fuel used to convince millions of people to vote us out of the EU. But as one door closes, another one opens. You see, the UK doesn't exist without immigrant labour. While the percentage of immigrants entering the UK from the EU dropped from 52% in 2018 to 42% in 2019, now it sits at 13%. Before Brexit, there were 100,000 more EU immigrants than immigrants from non-EU countries. Now, the number of immigrants from non-EU countries is 6 times higher than those from EU countries. Based on those figures alone, you could consider Brexit a success. But in order to keep things running in the UK as normal, the government had made foreign skilled work visa applications easier, particularly for bricklayers, plasterers, care workers, and engineers. How have they done that? Simple. Firstly, they removed the cap on how many visas can be approved, so now it's unlimited. Then they reduced the skill level required to apply for a visa. And finally, they removed the requirement of UK employers to show evidence that they've even tried to fill the role in the UK first. So just to connect the dots in case you're still unsure of why we're seeing record number of immigrants into the UK, it isn't anything to do with refugees and illegal immigrants. It's because of war and the fact that the UK relies on immigrant labour. Brexit was the worst thing that could have happened to the UK and has left the government filling labour shortages. And the answer that they found is kick down the door and let everyone else in. You must be very careful what you wish for in this life because God's sense of humour is undefeated.
Yes, family. So like I said, man, just another video just to bring in some different stats, some more recent ones. And that's why I'm saying that, you know, blaming the immigrants is just a low-hanging fruit. Like, what we need to be asking the question is, why is the government allowing this? Yeah. And I think a lot of the answer was sort of within that sort of presentation, right? Because at the end of the day, without immigration, economically, how strong or weak would England be? Do you know what I mean? Without immigration, can England even run all its services, this, that, and the other? Because, you know, as we just saw from that video, do you know what I mean? They're having to bring in imagine, come on, England. You have to be bringing in bricklayers, plasterers, tradesmen. Yeah? So, yo, big up yourself, Kushti, man. Come on. So, you know, it's like I'm saying, it's this thing is very, very, very layered, man. You know, and there's a lot of smoke and mirrors, this, that, and the other. You get me? But I'm saying, instead of blaming the immigrants, you need to start blaming the government, because who do you lot think made a lot of money during Brexit and after Brexit? Because it's not the poor people. And remember, since Brexit and the last 2-year holiday that was all enforced upon us, the rich only got richer and the poor only got poorer. Exactly, Sleeping Buddha. Immigration is very profitable for some. Yeah, I remember this was a few years ago. Well, quite a few years ago, to be fair. But my neighbor at that time, there was like a young couple. I think they had 2 children, right? And they had an au pair. A living au pair, right, from Philippines. And they were paying that woman £50 a week. Say this was about, I don't know, say 15 years ago, it might be a bit more, give or take, yeah. But they were paying this open house. She lived there, yeah. So she's on call 24/7, yeah, whilst they go to work and do whatever they do. £50 a week they were paying her. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm only using that as an example as to how immigration can be profitable and what's the word? Not just profitable, but advantageous for some. You get me? Because a lot of people were able to get cheap, good labor, you know? Right. Majority of people do not have an issue with immigration. She abolished that old systems of apprentices. Well, this is the thing here, because this is what I was even, again, and maybe not now because I'll be going all over the place, man. But the question's got to become like, aren't we? And I'm going to put myself in. Aren't we sick of the governments just selling us down the river, man? Do you know what I mean? And I'm saying that because at the end of the day, we got children, this, that, and the other. Now, someone's mentioned she abolished our old systems of apprenticeships and that. Yeah, which is. Because remember, when I was coming up, there was something called YTS, yeah? Young People's Training Scheme. And that's what I'm saying to you. That means you could leave school and go and get an apprenticeship somewhere doing whatever, yeah? It was actually government funded, this, that, and the other, yeah? You did it for a duration of time. It wasn't like, it weren't no big money or anything like that. So a lot of people didn't do it because they thought they wanted to go out and just earn big money straight away. Yeah, but the point being is that at least it was a system in place whereby you could skill up your potential contracts persons. Get me your labourers, your bricky, your chippy, your sparky, and that. Because now we're in a situation where we have to be importing. I mean, I think that's ridiculous. Where you got to be importing contractors. I mean, this is ridiculous. And you got all these men that you got, man, even the man them in prison, you could turn them into fucking whatever rather than having to import whatever. But anyway, big up yourself, Buddha. What, man?
Yo, big up 90. What's going on?
Yeah, man. I'm a little conversation and that.
Yeah, I thought I'd jump on quickly and say a couple of things before it goes crazy. So the video you just played, the gentleman was talking about non-EU immigrants. Last time I checked, Ukraine was part of the EU, but that was a bit confusing still. But the point I was going to make is this: I get what the guy was saying about Indian students coming over and people coming on work permits and I get that, but see those immigrant hotels. How many of those people have Indian visas or work permits or any Indian students in there? How many of those people, they can't work because of their status? The only way they're contributing is by being in the hotel. So the income tax the hotel owners have to pay is the only contribution that they're paying into the system. But having said that, how much are the government paying to house those people? Let me drop a link on you. Give me 1 second.
And just one thing, Buddha, because I just double check myself. The EU is not, Ukraine is not actually in the EU, Bab.
But it's part of Europe, right?
It's in Europe, but it's not part of the EU. It's it says the European Council granted Ukraine the status of a candidate for accession to the European Union. The European Commission recommended opening accession negotiations. So they're not in it yet. They're negotiating to get in it. Yeah, they are in Europe in terms of the geography. But there's quite a few countries still in Europe that aren't in the EU. But anyway, they're not still. The EU countries, just for clarity, currently are Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, Croatia, Republic of Cyprus, Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, Ireland, Italy, Latvia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, Netherlands, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, and Sweden. So those are the ones currently in the EU. You notice
Yeah,
I didn't say the UK.
yeah, I was that's what I meant to say was Europe, not EU. EU is then Europe, Europe. But listen, I'm gonna drop a link here, yeah. Unfortunately, this link has come from this. Well, I couldn't find the source of this link, but the guy who posted this is not one of the. Well, anyway, if you know, you know. But just take a look at that and tell me what you think.
What do you want me to play it?
You can play part of it, I suppose. I think it's a case of I wish I could find the source material, but give it a check.
All right, people, I'm not sure what it is, but Buddha is asking for us to have a little view. And hopefully it's nothing problematic. In fact, let me just get my legalities up to our judge. Right, let's see what this is about.
Out where a young white girl he's taken a fancy to lives, and he's looking through the window, and in this clip he does the tongue thing as if to say he wanted to do oral sex to her, and then after that literally just gets the old boy out and knocks one out in about 5 seconds flat, which is disgusting and obviously harrowing for this girl. And you can hear the girl saying go away or something like that, and she's obviously upset. When you let in the third world, and the lowest form of the third world, right, these are people that have no problem with rape, have no problem with breaking all the laws, don't actually give two shits about anything. They've got no dignity, they've got no decency, they've got no ethics, no morals. Look, pick it. Everything that makes us great about being British, they don't have, all right? Nothing. These people do not enhance fuck all. All they're going to do is ruin society, victimize people, rape people, kill people, murder people, burgle people, rob people, everything bad. This is what the lowest forms of that society that are migrating here will do. We've cherry picked.
Yeah, no, Neef, I think that's enough. Like, I don't think we need to hear any more of that. Yeah.
We are the best. These are the worst.
Yo.
Right?
Yeah, I think we get the message. Like, I don't think that's yeah. But so forget what this individual's saying for now. But let's just look at what he's talking about. So that individual that went up to the window and knocked one out and was doing all of this stuff, what do you think the images that paints? For instance, look what this guy is saying. We've taken one instance out of how many thousand immigrants or refugees that are coming over. He's taken one instance.
Big up, family.
Yo, big up. And he's blown that and made that a whole video about it. So can you see where one instance is tarring the whole thousands of how many people come over and do whatever they're doing and don't know where they're coming from. We don't know where this individual's from. So when you've got these people coming over here and instances like this happen, it's not isolated. There's many different instances of these things happening. And you put a load of people who've come from another country and park them in places where they haven't had exposure to people of color or whatever, it causes problems. Ireland is a very good example of that. But let me mute up same way.
I was going to say, Buddha, that I think things these days, like 2023, it's not as bad as like when our lot came to this country in terms of like British people are more multicultural now. They're used to foreigners. But the problem now is like why this guy's saying what he's saying in his video, in my opinion, is that the main incentive of welcoming foreigners is being taken off the table, which is to make money out of them. Because back in the day, people could make money, and foreigners coming to the mix was just more people to exploit on your own doorstep, which made it convenient. So, for example, when you look at these huge construction firms now, right, like British firms, a lot of them were bolstered by the immigration of Irish people who worked for a pittance, digging up the roads and doing all sorts of work that made these huge companies like Murphy's or whatever with huge blue chip thingy now status. So immigration, when you look at it in that way, is always going to be financially driven, right? So where financial growth ain't really been there, the incentive to welcome foreigners is also diminished, right? So, like, I don't know if you agree with that, Buddha. What do you think? Yo, what do you think, man? Like, it's a money thing, really, isn't it?
Listen, it's been many years since I've been on the building site. Okay, but when I was on the building site, I know there was like, this is when the Polish was first starting coming over in droves. Now, I remember the talk from the scaffolders, and, you know, there was a resentment there towards Polish people. They're taking our jobs, they're undercutting us, blah, 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 blah. And to a certain degree, that still happens now. But in specifically, I'm talking about these people that are living in the hotels. When's the last time, I don't know, because I haven't been on the building site for a long time, but when's the last time you saw a Pakistani working on a
But
building
here's
site?
my point, Buddha. Moving it
Bricklaying.
forward now, yeah, we can see that the next wave of immigration is going to be from India. And these people are high on education and technology. They're not really going to be working in the building sites because that's not where the work is. Everything that needs to be built is being built, isn't it? Right? There's not much more like build. They're not going to start building up infrastructure in England. The building works are going to happen in other countries, isn't it? Other countries that are catching up to European standards, like Turkmenistan or whatever. Yeah, you could say that that's where the building work's going to happen. And even British firms get them contracts anyway, right? So that's not the problem. The problem is that the people that are coming over here are going to be more educated than the people that are here. So the social anxiety, like the cross racial divide, is going to be antagonized by the fact that these people are going to get here expecting a certain degree of pay, expecting a certain degree of respect, and basically it's going to be difficult. So that's the dilemma of the government now, is that the jobs are all going to be tech-based.
So I'll give you another example. As you talk about Indian people coming over, and you're right, because a lot of MPs have been going over there trying to form trade agreements. So when we see these people coming over from India to the UK, and there's going to be problems therein. For example, when they come over, they're going to bring that caste mentality with them. And so for people like me, and I've experienced it already, yeah, black people are going to be treated a certain way, white people are going to be treated a certain way. And it will take time for them to assimilate, if they care to, and get to understand how society really works over here. But which society are they going to walk into? Because society as I know it 30 years ago has changed completely. But
yeah, they ain't going to want to live around black people. They're mainly going to probably be hitting out to places what we would regard as white.
All right, stop there a minute. Stop there a minute, Khan. So they don't want to live around black people. Do we accept that? Is that okay? Like,
well, I think it's something that's actually going to be quite normal, that like immigrants that are moving into this country ain't going to want to live around ghetto areas. They're going to want to live around where the white people are.
Okay, but listen, right? Okay, but I'm not asking. So, I understand that you're right.
Let me just land my point. So this
I'm
whole
asking
thing
you,
about,
is that okay? Should we accept that?
No, it's benefiting us, isn't it? It's all right. Let them go out to where the white people live, innit? Let them go out there. It's fine. Like, we don't need them around here anyway. Let them go to Bishop Stortford and them kind of far-flung places where you won't see one single brown face at the moment, right?
All
I'm
right.
not saying
So
they're racist. They're not racist.
yeah, well, no, they
They're
are because
they're lovely
but
people. They're lovely
but
people, and they're very tolerant of multiculturalism and
no, they're not.
immigrants. But they
No, they
view
really
when they
ain't,
see a brown person, but they think, oh, you must be from London.
bro.
There's a reason why they think that.
I work for an Indian guy, okay, and
Yeah,
you know, he's a really cool dude. I ain't gonna lie, he's a really
yeah,
cool guy. But he tells me about his culture, and he tells me he's Sikh, so he's a bit different. But he tells me how the Hindus are and how their caste system works and what they really feel about black people and blah 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 blah. And so, and you're right, they'd much rather be around white people than they would
right,
around black people. But
right.
where they live is not really relevance to me anyway. It's how we get treated. So when we walk into a shop, give me an example. When you walk into a chicken shop, yeah, and you buy
Yeah.
your chicken and chips and a can of drink, yeah. Imagine the Indian girl try to reach for the busted can of fucking drink that they put aside. I'm asking her, why do you think it's okay to give me that dented can of drink? Just out of curiosity. Why do you think why did you not give it to the white customer? Why do you feel see simple things like that? There's a domino effect of the way in which we're perceived and the way in which we're treated, which is not acceptable. You get me?
Oh, but that's for you to fight that corner, isn't it?
No, listen, I'm a bit long and
That's your
old in the
beef
tooth. I've
with
done
them,
my
innit?
fighting
Like,
when
I'm
I
not
was young
involved.
enough, fam.
I'm not
Yeah,
involved, bro.
huh?
I'm not involved in that beef. Like, that's between you and them, innit? Like, if you're saying Indians have got a sort of phobia or a hatred of black people, then you lot need to kind of like have more cross-racial thingies,
What?
associations where you bring your communities together, innit? Like, you work it out, innit? It's like, for example, every street corner has got a Kurdish or a Turkish corner shop now. How then
Right?
people treat their community is a reflection, right, of how people going to respond to them. So so far as I know, I ain't heard no black people complaining about how they get treated in Turkish or Kurdish shops.
Never,
So that
no, never.
love between each other is going to grow in it through dealing with each other.
But I ain't being funny. I think Turkish people, Turkey as a general, the country, they're very hospitable. They got a massive tourism thing, so they're generally like hospitable. Do you know what I'm saying? And as far as I
Uh-huh.
know, they don't have this caste system thing in Turkey.
Right.
This is like an Indian type of thing. You with
What I'm
me?
saying is how you treat people, right? You should expect that sort of a reaction to that, innit? So if Indians are being hostile to black people, right, and they will then have to wear the repercussions of that, innit? That's on them, innit?
But
I know my
is that
community.
fair on us to fight? So we're getting into a fight we never asked for. We didn't ask for people to come over here and disrespect us. Do you get what I'm saying? And it's not like they've come here purposefully to disrespect black people. It's
No.
within their culture. It's the way
Yeah.
in which they've been
It's
brought
how
up.
they move.
Yeah, and it's no
Yeah.
different to Chinese people as well. Chinese are the same fucking thing. You with me?
Yeah.
But in this day and age, like, it's not just white people that are going to be complaining about people coming over here and the great replacement and all that kind of whatever. You understand? There's issues that me as a black person that I can identify that are going to be problematic. Yeah, I've listen, man. Like I was saying, the Kurdish. There's a Kurdish 24-hour shop that I used to frequent quite a bit because I used to do security. I used to work nights, but it's a supermarket that's 24 hours. There are people in there. Imagine 4 o'clock in the morning, everyone's tired and all the rest of it. But guess what? They still got a smile for you. They still got a nice vibe about them. They're always cool with people. And to open 24 hours, you imagine what kind of fuckery you can get in a shop like in South London. But they deal with that, and they got good relationship with the community there. You with me?
I've seen shops like, I don't know if you know, like Kervan, Aksular, these Turkish restaurants that are like chain, like little McDonald's is now, where it's just Turkish food. I've seen whole African families going in there, 20 man strong, sitting down, taking up half the restaurant.
The one we got is Best Man Gal.
Proper service, proper treatment. They get treated good.
Yeah, but there's one called Best Man. There's one called Best Man Gal, right? And during Ramadan, they donate food to the homeless shelter where I was working. You know, like and I'm not talking like bread. I'm talking about full on fucking
Slap up meals.
shawarmas and shit. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about one or two. I'm talking about like big platters full of it. You
Right.
understand? So there's a wicked community vibe that goes on, and those guys, you know. But would that happen with the people that are coming over here? I don't know.
I don't know, but I think that, like you said, they're bringing the caste system. They got this sort of like phobia against darker skinned people intrinsic in their culture. So that's going to be an issue, isn't it? Like that, the saving grace is going to be that they're going to have to move out to more, like I said, more white areas where we won't really have to deal with them anyway. So they got their own battle to fight, and hopefully them facing oppression or facing resistance will make them more malleable and make them more peaceful.
Like you just said, yeah, they're going to move to more white areas. They're not going to, because they're not going to be able to afford it. But let's just say that they do. They move to more whiter areas. Do you think the people in those white areas are going to be happy about that?
That's what I'm saying to you. If they're making money out of them, then yeah, they will be. There will be.
No,
because
they ain't. Trust me.
If they're making money, trust me, bro. Money, like, this is what I'm saying. When we're dealing with English people, we have to realize that, like, they sort of sung us a lullaby, innit? This whole multiculturalism thing, like, they're just basically saying, stay out of the majority of England, stay in London, yeah, and everything's cool. Do you know what I mean? That's like, they've benefited more from multiculturalism than we have. Do you know what I mean? So they've really sung us a lullaby with this whole tolerance thing of, yeah, we'll tolerate your culture. We'll allow you to have your own, like, you know, little bubble where you can live, right? But at what cost? Do you know what I mean? Because we got to live in London where the prices are high, innit?
And that's what I'm saying. They're not gonna. I mean, like, put it this way: yeah? You've seen what Slough's like. You've seen what what's that place next to Slough? What's that place next to Slough?
All them places, Southall.
Southall. All right. Could you imagine?
Prices are cheap, fam. My cousin, he's Libyan. He looks like an Asian anyway. He lives out in Slough. I said to him, why don't you move to London? He's like, bro, do you know the prices, the rent prices, the food prices? He's like, I can't make ends meet in London. I don't know how you man do it. And I was like, do you know what? Actually, he's right, you know. Moving out of London, everything's cheaper.
Yeah. So imagine Southall. Imagine like you go somewhere like Chiswick or I don't know, Sydenham, and you turn it into fucking Southall. Do you think people are going to be, those white English people are going to be happy about that? They're not going to. They want their children to grow up in a white area. They want their children to go to school with white children. You understand? That's the mentality. They ain't really got that whole London mentality. You with me?
This is what I'm saying, Buddha. They don't mind you as long as you're bowing to them, innit?
Well,
get me? And where does the tolerance that you're talking about, it's all signaled from the elites. The top level people are sending these levels down, down the ricochets, down the ladder. So when you get people like Suella Braverman saying, oh, multiculturalism, this, that, and the other, next thing you know, Tommy Robinson and them man taking to the streets. That was signaled up by the elites that were sending the signal down saying, it's okay for you to show your hatred of immigrants. Take to the streets. Go and complain.
Look, the far right, not just in the UK,
is always in league with the elites, Buddha.
All right, so the far right is not just in the UK. I'm talking about the whole of Europe and the UK. If you notice, there's I think it's Holland the other day got that what's his name? Gert, whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah, I know who you mean.
Yeah, he's now, I think he's the president or prime minister, or I don't know what the fuck is. Yeah. So it just goes to show you the level of racism that is permeating through Europe at this moment in time, as well as the UK. And the main talking point that this far right people are saying is immigration.
Where's our far right based? Do you know?
Where's our what?
Far right. Where they based? Do you know?
Where they're based? I have no idea where they're based. As far as I know, it's all over the UK. It's not just one place.
It's Northern Ireland. Yeah, it's Northern Ireland, and that's because it's militarily connected. So where the British army is really active is on its own doorstep, innit? Like they're actually, you know, in Northern Ireland. So that's where all the weaponry is stored. That's where all these sleeper cells are. Do you know what I mean? That's where they're based.
I
All
think
the ex,
that's
like, if you meet any
I don't.
ex-British soldiers that served in Ireland,
Yeah.
they are
So
the
I would draw
most
the.
racist ethno-nat
I,
people you could meet.
right. So I would draw the distinction between far right and extremist. What you're speaking of there sounds to me, I would classify them as extremist, if not terrorist.
No,
Yeah.
they're ethno-nats.
Okay, fine. But there's grades of far right, isn't there? So there's
Yeah,
not just
but
the,
they just got
you
like
don't have to pick up a weapon
yeah,
to
but they
be
just
to
got a
have
shop
far
front
right
brother. They're
sympathy.
welcoming you in with the Cignat rhetoric, with Tommy Robinson going,
Yeah,
I grew
and
up on the
then
street of Luton with
yeah,
Rastas. Like,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
just the sweet
exactly
shop
that.
storefront, innit? But when you
Yeah,
go inside the
exactly
shop,
that.
the back door, yeah, they got a little dungeon at the back there.
Exactly that, and
Right.
that's exactly what I'm saying. So you will
I'm
have
agreeing.
people who are not. Sorry, let me finish, my bro. So
Go on.
you'll have people that are not fully extremist, but they have some far right leanings or far right political beliefs. But the minute
Right.
they get involved with, like you said, the shop front, they get dragged to the back of the dungeon. Exactly that.
Right.
You understand? But
Yep.
that doesn't go to say there's a lot of people in the UK that have these far right.
No, the ethno-nat numbers is really low.
Okay, but listen to what I'm saying. You're jumping straight to the ethno-nats. I'm talking about the people that go into the sweet shop. Yeah, there's lots
Yeah,
of
that's the Tommy
people.
Robinson Brigade. The thingy
Yes,
front, the acceptable face
let's
of
call them.
racism.
Let's call them the vanilla far right. There's
Yeah.
many vanilla far rights over here.
Hmm.
Yeah, not just in Northern Ireland. That's the extreme end of it. The dungeons. You
Yeah,
understand?
but what I'm trying to show you, Buddha, by saying that is that the military and the government is behind the right wing, right?
Yes.
And that
No.
even filters down to people like Tommy Robinson, who get their green light to take to the streets from the authorities. It's not a grassroots level operation. It's funded, yeah, and manipulated by the elites.
Well,
Far
listen.
right
I'm not
is
gonna
always
go.
going to be on that side of things.
I'm not going to go into what I don't know and can't prove. So that would just fall into conspiracy. But in the sense that there is a movement around Europe and the UK, as far as I'm concerned, to facilitate the far right. Because if there wasn't, there would be a fucking there wouldn't be so much immigration or immigrants or refugees coming in. That would be controlled. But it seems to me that there's like an open border, pardon the pun, but there's an open border and everyone's coming in and they're doing it on purpose. There's no control. Yeah, what's the point in having a fucking border if you're not going to control it? What's happening in Ireland, as far as I'm concerned, what's happening in Ireland, as far as I'm concerned, is a travesty. What's happening over here is ridiculous. Yeah, I still got links within the
military.
The rough sleepers, no, the rough sleepers and the homeless movement. There's no housing to put people. There's literally no. The guy was telling me the other day. One of the guys, he said the number of homeless females has skyrocketed. There's never been back in the day. If you were female, you got put straight to the top of the list because just by being female, you're vulnerable.
What I'm saying to you, Buddha, if
vulnerable.
they're expecting immigrants to turn up here, right, based on international deals that they've done, so they're going to do deals with India to build a train line through Saudi Arabia to supply goods to the Mediterranean, right? If they know that that comes with a deal that they have to sign, where there's an influx of cheap labor that comes with them goods, right? How are they going to make their own population accept those people? They make them poor and show them that, yeah, these people are bringing wealth with them. This is what I'm saying to you. In the 70s and that, when our lot got here and they were getting racism, yeah, that's just the whip and carrot bullshit of making you assimilate and accept your rung on the ladder, which is, yeah, I've got to start at the beginning and work my way up. But really, those people, they're just basically gaslighting you into thinking that you need to conform to their culture. Really, they know you're bringing wealth. You're coming from the Caribbean to the UK. Yeah, you're bringing skills. You're bringing loads of things with you that they need. And this is the thing with British people, English culture. They won't tell you what you're worth. They'll always try to make you, yeah, you got to start at the bottom rung of the left. This is how it is, Randy, mate. You want to work, Randy? We start you off on the low money, and then you've got to prove yourself, and slowly, we'll build you up. Yeah, that's the deal with all newcomers. They convince you
And
that you got
so
to start off at the bottom rung of the ladder and work your way up.
when you say that it's the elite are to blame, I agree. And what you've just said is an example of how the elite are to blame, because it's the elite that agree these trade deals and these passes, and it's not just. I mean, you know the thing with Hong Kong.
Yeah.
I feel like a load have been piling in from Hong Kong because of
Yeah.
what was going on over there, but undercover, like it's not being advertised anywhere, or do you get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
all of these different types of things, and even if you look at China, Hong Kong is the most like I'm gonna say multicultural place you can go to in China.
Yeah,
Like you'll
definitely.
find Indian,
Yeah.
Pakistani, you find everyone over in Hong
Yeah,
Kong.
I
So
agree.
it's very diverse like that.
Cosmopolitan. Yeah.
Yeah, cosmopolitan, diverse. But even so, they still hold those
Hold
you
on, let
know,
me throw one more thing on the table, yeah, of
go
an example of what I'm trying to say, of this gaslighting of people, making them sort of like wanting to assimilate in a sly way, right? Let me say this. Do you know this whole thing that we've even heard about America saying, we're going to build a wall, we're going to keep the
yeah,
Mexicans out. But when you go to Mexico, when you go to America, who's doing all the work? The Mexicans. From
Americanos,
the
yeah.
car wash to the carpet fitter to the bricklayer to the gardener, they need these people. And that's what the video that just Nanifa just put on shows you, right? That anyone who understands economics, anyone who understands money will know that everything is based off people, yeah, trying to work their way up the ladder, giving you labor cheaper than what it's actually worth. If you had
Definitely.
to pay for everything at what it's really worth, you'd never make any money. Where's the profit
100%.
margin going
No,
to come from?
listen, I can tell you now, after COVID, right? There was a massive drop in the healthcare sector.
Yeah,
People just
of
fucking
course.
left their jobs. They just like,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm not dying for this job. It's minimum wage, blah, blah, blah. See you later. Yeah. And then they had to replace those people with agency workers or whatever. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Right. So using your example, we get a lot of Indian people coming over who, as we
Or
just spoke about,
educated level. Yeah.
yeah, but as we just spoke about, they've got these prejudices from the caste system, etc., etc. All right, cool. So if my mother or my grandmother or whatever's in an old people's home and we've got an Indian person there working there, how do I know she or he is going to give my grandmother or my mother the level of care that they need, and not put this whole caste system out? Do you know what? Let me give her less food because she's black, and I'll give the white person more. Or do you get what I'm saying? Just simple, small, little things like that. I won't care about the black person too much. I'll care about the white person more. These are things that go through my head.
But Buddha, you can't always look at it on the negative, right? Like black
No, I'm
people,
looking at the
they got their
practicalities
they
in
got
my
their pros and
experience.
cons, right? They got their pros and
Yeah.
cons. They got I'll give you an example, right? That film, what was it? Black Panther, Wakanda, whatever. Yeah. There ain't no Turkish version of that. There ain't no Indian version of that. Like Marvel ain't rolling out the carpet for other colors of people. Black people are
What do you
getting
mean?
that
What do you mean?
deal. What I'm saying is black people are getting that deal because of what they bring to the table, right? What are they offering?
No, I don't
What
know
they do
about
in
that. You know,
America, the
I feel like
diasporan black people
I
who are
don't
living in
know.
America,
No,
right,
wait.
are contributing to American society, right?
Listen,
By showing them, look, we're like superhumans out here. We're doing all the things that you lot can't do. All the NFL players, all the basketballers. Like there's elite level black people out in America doing big things, right? That
okay,
makes them demand
but
that
listen,
respect, which means that they get certain things. Now, what I'm saying
yeah, but
is, you get certain things, but certain things you don't get, innit? Same way
all
I
right,
get certain things I don't get.
I'm gonna say American, African Americans. I'm gonna say we, because we didn't get Wakanda given to us. You know,
That's what
we
I'm
had
trying to
to
tell
fight.
you.
Sorry, hold on. Sorry, one moment. We had to fight to get to that stage where we can have a film by Marvel in Hollywood and all the rest of it. But you know, Wakanda is, to me, is a propagandist fucking film, as far as I'm concerned. But we got there because we had to scream and shout and suffer. Yeah, as far as I know, Turkish people never suffered in America to the extent that black people did. Do you know what I'm saying?
Depends who you're counting as Turkish, bro. If you're counting red-skinned people, Native Americans, or Caribs, for example, they're
Right.
like genetically quite related to proto-Turks, the original Turks, not the European Turks, not the European
Yeah.
Turks, but the Turkic people. They're related to them. Innit?
I'm pretty sure that Proto-Turks are related to a lot of different places in the world, people of different origins, because but you know, I think it's the whole Genghis Khan thing. I think that the whole Genghis Khan thing, the whole of Europe somehow has a bit of Turkish in them, some way, somehow. You with me? The whole Ottoman thing, but you know, the
what I'm saying is
listen, man.
Native American Indians, yeah, they suffered, didn't it?
Yeah,
They
of course they did.
Yeah.
Of course they did. Yeah, yeah. So Victoria West is saying Google far right in India. There's a far right in India.
Modi, yeah, they're in power now. They've been in power for ages. They
But
recently
wait. Do you think?
genocided up some Sikhs.
Do you think? Listen. Do you think Indians see Modi as a far right political group? No, man, they don't. They just see him as a normal fucking political group,
But
not far right.
He's far right though.
Of course he is. He's the you know, to us he's far right, but over there he's just normal. Do you get what I'm saying? He's not over there. He's just normal, man. That ain't far right over there. But anyway, listen, man, I'm gonna have to cut. I need for Khan. Big up, chat.
Big up, brother.
We'll speak soon. Take it easy.
All right, man.
Oh, shizzle, family. Sorry. I was on the bloody phone. I was on the bloody blower. Yeah. All right, hold on a second. Hold on. Let me just take this off. Sorry, family. I left the man in the chat 1 second. Sorry, family. All right. Sorry, family. Sorry. Right. Just give me 2 minutes. All right. Hold on. It's all going off. All right, hold on, family. Sorry about that. Right, and I'm still on the blower as well. Right. Give me 30 seconds, family. Yeah, sorry, yeah. No, I'll definitely hear that.
If he gets the 500 from Georgina, just so I could sort myself out, Eliam could, if he would pay Eliam back, like.
And it's brought many good things. It's not all bad, even though some people claim it's all bad. It's not all bad.
The interest and stuff every month. I was even gonna.
You know what I mean? I think it's something that should be celebrated.
Well, on the panel though, you had Lady D and Kale. They was quite strongly against the idea of a black person calling themselves English. So I was.
Because their ancestors are slaves.
Is that what it is?
They don't have. No disrespect to them, but the fact of the matter is their ancestors are from the Caribbean. The difference with me, Dave, is remember my parents are Nigerian. Yeah, so I'm not removed from Africa in the sense that they don't know where their ancestors came from. They gotta go and do a whole genetic test to go and find a village where they can go to. They're not holding no African citizenship. Yeah, but the difference with me is my parents are Nigerian, even though I have some enslaved Africans in the bloodline, but I'm not ripped from Africa. Anytime I feel like going back to Africa, I can just go. And what I was taught.
All right, sorry about that, people, man. That was a bit of a, well, it's quite an important call, to be fair. So sorry about that. Big up to Bordage and Khan. See, this is what happens when you try and do a quick one. When you know you're being a bit naughty. And then the fighting calls start coming in. But all right. Nah, man, you ain't gone deaf, man. 9 is right. The systems need urgent reform. We need people in power who will undo anything detrimental to all the UK study right unity. The government do not need to listen. Yeah, I mean, okay. So let's see if we can get back to the conversation. Mute him. Who? Mute who? Is there something still playing? Mute who? Can you not hear something I can't hear? Right, all right. Let me just try and deal with this because I think, tHe alluded to it as well in terms of definitely I agree that unity, unity. Oh, okay. So I definitely agree that in terms of, I mean, personally, I don't think that the system can be toppled. I'll be real, like to the age that I am and to what I've seen, I don't know. I can't see it because, okay. And like I've mentioned on my stream before, the one time in England where I really saw people power and I saw that, and I saw the government reverse its decision was with the poll tax. Yeah, that's the only time I can remember in my lifetime whereby, you know, the people rebelled and the government actually they stood down. Yeah, and that was over the poll tax, and that was because everyone got involved with that, rich, poor, and everything in between. Do you know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Yeah. And then they reversed that, and then obviously we've gone from the poll tax to the council tax, which was obviously an amended version, but it was better still, no doubt, because I think under the poll tax, everyone in the house had to pay. Was it everyone over the age of 18? I think it was something like that. And then they changed it to the council tax, whereby obviously, well, obviously, as you know, how the council tax is and that. But yeah, in terms of the thing is, and let me go back to we need people in power who will undo anything detrimental to all the UK. Sadly, without unity, the government do not need to listen. But you see, this is the thing, yeah. You see, politics, yeah, that's why we call it politics, isn't it? Because you're okay, Victoria, thank you. Because that's why we call it politics, right? Because like, I'm sure we're all grown up enough now and sort of can be honest with ourselves enough to know that a lot of these politicians, they're just crooked, man. They speak with forked tongues. They go back on their promises. They don't deliver promises. They renege on their dip. It's just disgusting. I mean, just look at Boris Johnson as an example. You know, this is the prime minister. You know what I'm saying to you? Obviously, he had to fall on his sword because of the events in our extended holiday. But do you know what I mean? If we know, and that's just the tip of the iceberg, as we know. You know, and remember, you know, the worst thing is that these people are all friends anyway. Yeah, like, you know, in front of the house and whatever, they may be Labour and Conservative, this, that, and the other, but behind closed doors, they all sleep in the same bed anyway. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm trying to say about, you know what I mean, the illusion of democracy, this, that, and the other. It's all an illusion, man. They're all in bed together, man. They're all in bed together, man. Yeah, and what I was saying, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I've come to the conclusion, at least, that it doesn't matter what government is in power. Yeah. Once there is an agenda, that agenda is going to go through, come what may, regardless of who is in power, what face of it, whatever in it. You understand what I'm saying to you? Yeah. But I have no confidence in none of them. Absolutely not. You know what I mean? Yeah. This one, that's Prime Minister now. This Rishi Sunak and that. Yeah. Oh, mate. Listen, man. And this is what I'm trying to say, yeah. Is it even feasible to be having people running countries who are fucking billionaires? Yeah. In fact, don't even get me started on all of that, man. Seriously. Remember when as Prime Minister, his wife's hiding money, this, that, rare. Do you know what I mean? Whatever. And nothing. And this is what I'm trying to say. This is the next thing, yeah. And this is what I'm saying in terms of the immigrants and blaming all it. This is just all low hanging fruit. You understand what I'm saying to you? And it's just the tip of the iceberg because I mean, do you not remember things like the LIBOR, the interest rate stuff, the fucking the collapse of certain banks, this, that, and the other? No cunt's gone to jail over these things. And this is about this is things that cost billions and billions of pounds. Yeah, no one went to jail. But do you not remember the black stockbroker? What happened to that black? Something happened. He went to jail though, innit? Sorry. Right, so Vicky said we need to hold them to account. How can we do that when we're all divided? Yeah, that's fair enough, Vicky, but I'm saying it's all part of the rules anyway. Do you know what I mean? It's all because it could be argued that, yeah, it's all bollocks, man. It's all bollocks, man. Do you know what I mean? I know that's such an uneducated way to summarize it, but I've seen enough to know that it's all bollocks. Yeah, because once, and let's not get it twisted here. Once upon a time, I'm just reading Jay's comment where he's saying that's why I've never voted in my life, right? And it's such a shame, innit, whereby in 2023, I know that there is such voter apathy, and you know what I mean? I've been there myself. There's been times when there's been elections, I've not voted. You get me? Remember, mum and dad always used to bang on at me to go and exercise your right to franchise, blah, 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 blah. Remember what we had to go through to be able to get the right to vote, not just only as a woman, but as a black person, blah, 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 blah. And I get all that. I definitely appreciate all that. But the thing is, though, when you can look at a system and know that the thing is just corrupt from left to right, inside out, upside down, whereby now you feel like many people don't even think that their vote is worth anything. Do you know what I'm saying to you? That's problematic. And again, that's what I'm trying to say. Where you got places like England and America going around saying that they're exporting democracy, whereby really are our countries that democratic? Yeah, they give the illusion of democracy. Don't get me wrong, but are they that democratic? You understand what I'm saying to you? Because, like I'm saying, you got people that are saying they ain't voting because they don't listen, and they just do their own thing anyway. Which I mean, because I think a lot of people do join politics probably with the right thing in, with the right mindset. Do you know what I mean? But I think they get hip to it quite quickly that this is not what it is. What you thought it is, that's not what it is, man. And also, I think that politics has changed over the years as well. Do you know what I mean? I think maybe times gone by, it was more about, policies and procedures and blah, 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 blah. Whereas now it's just more, and I blame Tony Blair for this shit, man. It's all, it's just all bollocks, isn't it? It's all spin. Do you know what I mean? It's just all spin. You see me, yeah? I used to watch Question Time religiously. Yeah, that was my program. Thursday, 11:15. You know where 9th is going to be. In front of the telly, BBC, Question Time. You get me? That was my thing. You understand? From Robin Day days. If you know, you know. I don't watch Question Time again. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't tell you the last time I watched that because a time come whereby I'm like, nah, you're just no. Just no. Exactly, JD. It's just personalities, bro. Just personalities. It's bollocks, man. Do you know what I mean? I'm telling you, JD. Listen, you still love me some Question Time, brethren. Trust me. Yeah, 100%, man, all the way through. But like I'm saying, I don't watch that shit now because I know, you know what I mean? Like Jay's saying, it's just a personality contest, man. Do you know what I mean? Right. Let me see. Goofy saying all the job centers ever did was rebrand themselves and print, rename scheme after scheme, spent 100,000 on remodeling. Well, yeah, again, I mean, job centers. I have been in, yeah, I mean, I've not been into a job center for a good little while. But I mean, yeah, and you see, we're getting into a different area again, but and that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Who can put the great back in Britain, bruv? So at the moment, what do you see is the answer, Nines? Yeah, Victoria, like I was saying, to be honest, I don't think that there is an answer, if I was going to be really honest. And the reason I don't think that there really is an answer, no, let me take that back. The only answer would be for international, what would you say, like different countries. No, I don't see an answer. I just don't. No, I don't see an answer. I don't. Unless each country can basically overcome their governments, this, that, and the other. But I don't even think that that's an answer, to be honest. So I don't think there's an answer, Victoria. If I was going to be honest, I don't. That's why I was even saying, you know, a realist to me, a realist would be a pessimist. Especially if you are especially if you've got certain information to hand. Do you know what I'm saying to you? And that's what we were sort of speaking on 42 channel, on David's channel yesterday, because there was a guy and he was basically speaking about the different agendas that are not even coming up, that are in progress now. He spoke about Agenda 21, Agenda 25, etc., etc. And what I'm saying, Victoria, is that because these agendas are in place and it is full steam ahead, yeah. No, I don't think there's any way back. To be honest, because yeah, man, these people, yeah. Yo, what a time for you, dead veteran. G's and P's and We's and boy. Hey, finished. No, but oh, code, chat, you got me off. But yeah, I don't think so, Vicky, to be honest, because you know, in my lifetime, you know, I can see the aim and the plan, and I can see it being carried out. Do you know what I mean? You know, there were certain things that we were sort of told 20, 25 years ago, you know, even before the internet, do you know what I mean? Like when them time that you're getting knowledge still through books, whole heap of photocopies, maybe videos and that. Do you know what I mean? You're funny, you know. You're funny. You're so funny. Do you know what I mean? And the point I'm making is that I'm seeing all of those things actually being realized today in front of my very, very eyes. Yeah, you see what I'm saying to you? So unless there's a miracle out here, I can't see it changing, Vicky, because well, maybe so. Because the thing is, right, what we also have to understand is that what's happening in England is it's not only just isolated to England. This is happening all around the world, or at least definitely all around the West. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, like seriously, man, you know, and that's and I'm included, and that's what, and yeah. So I don't know, Vicky, man. I'm saying no because you probably caught me there, but I can't see it, bab. I really can't. I just can't, because right now, what is shaping up, it could be, you know, it could be argued are like two sides, isn't it? In terms of the world and politics and all the rest of it, it's like two sides or three sides, you know. You know, you're gonna have the West, you're gonna have the BRICS, you know what I mean, and you might have some in-betweeners. You know, so I don't know, man, because, and as well, Vicky, this thing in Israel right now is just not helping. You know, it's just not helping, man. You know, and that's another thing. When I even mention that, you know, like, yeah, man. Again, going back to the SHEEPle thing, you know, like how anyone, yeah, this Israel thing, this, yo, you know, oh, it's just, sure. It's like in some places, life just doesn't mean shit, man. Still, you know what I mean? Life don't mean shit, man. You know, human life don't mean shit. Children's lives don't mean shit. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, I don't even know what the update is in terms of Israel now, because I don't watch it no more. I'll be real, because it's just fuck that, man. You get me? You know what I mean? You keep and it's also, all of that is part of trying to fuck up the people as well, because if you keep showing, and you remember before, yeah, the newspapers and British TV, they never used to show dead people, you know. They never used to show such brutality, you know. But things have changed. But yeah, man, what I'm saying is the public need to be that metrical. Like St. Basil, do you remember when the expensive scandal happened? Yvette Cooper and husband over 300k out of public's purse. She still got it. But this is what I'm saying, though, Victoria, man. All of those things, Victoria, there's so many we can speak about. You get me? remember when someone put in a fucking invoice for cleaning ducks or some listen, and this is what I'm saying, Victoria, yeah. All these people can do all this mad shit. Nothing happens to them. Nothing happens to them. No one's been to jail. No, nothing. Yeah? Misappropriation of funds, blatantly thieving money. Just, it's all blatant. And this is what I'm trying to say. Yeah? When the TV cameras go off and the journalists put down their pens and papers, this, that, and the other, they're all in bed together, man. You know what I mean? Laughing and kikiing and exchanging contracts and deals and blah, 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 blah. Because remember, you know, a lot of them, they all went to the same schools, colleges, blah, 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 blah. Do you know what I mean? We know this, man. So behind the scenes, it's, yeah, so no, Vicky, man, because most of them now, they're all just self-serving anyway. Do you know what I mean? I said someone before quite a bit back spoke about Tony Benn and that. These politicians ain't of that sort of caliber, man. These fucking politicians ain't of that sort of caliber, man. Remember, these politicians go into the jungle. Get me out of here and all that. Do you know what I mean? It's just, it's all fucked, man. But nah, so no. To be honest, Victoria, no. And if I was going to go a little bit further, I just think once New Labour came in, I think politics in Britain went to shit, man. Have I left that fire? Hold on. Yeah. When New Labour came in, I think politics went to absolute shit since then. Yeah, and now you can't separate the blue from the red with a fag paper, you know. Tony Blair came in and he took Labour all the way over to the just off centre right, you know, whereby, and like I said in there, and I said it before, when I heard Margaret Thatcher basically gave props to Tony Blair, that's when I knew he was in trouble. I never voted New Labour. Not what. I swear, I'll put my hands up. I never voted for that man there. What? Oh dear. I remember when. Exactly, Victoria, because that's what I'm trying to say. There's a set agenda, and this set agenda is in full motion, man. Do you know what I mean? And that's why when I'm saying, when we speak about certain things over on the block in particular, and like you got these little dickheads like S Scientific Method just calling everyone a retard, blah blah blah, you're chatting shit, and then his answer is just a straight mainstream media narrative. Yeah, that's why I'm talking about SHEEPle. That's why I just got to laugh. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, most of the world are sheep. These are facts, man, because they take what their governments tell them, hook, line, and sinker. You get me? Hook, line, and sinker. The only thing that I will say, I think in this last 2 years off that we had, this last recent thing, I think a lot of people actually woke up in that point. Because for me, yeah, I'm like, you see, if you didn't wake up during this last thing, you're never going to wake up. You get me? You're never going to wake up. If you did not wake up in this last situation here, you get me? Yeah? Especially if you're a person who, you know, remember, you know, we were being told that we can't visit our loved ones, certain funeral. I mean, it was just all mad. There's people that buried people with couple people in the building. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? And all of them type of thing there, yeah? Yeah? When then the actual government are partying, yeah, drinking it up, raving it up, and all the rest of it, yeah. And remember, we only know this because I can't remember who whistleblowed or how it got out. Do you know what I mean? So if it didn't get out, we'd be none the wiser, you know. And this is an everyday thing. Remember, there's the other guy, I can't remember his name. He was able to come on TV and tell the people that the reason why he broke the not sanction, whatever the right word is, why he weren't where he's supposed to be when he was, it's because he had to test his eyes or some stupidness like that. Yeah. So I'm saying all that to say, you know, if the people are still trusting what the government are telling them and the mainstream media, blah blah blah, at this point in time, then I can't help you. I can't help you, man. Exactly, Gain. I'm telling you, Gain. And that's a massive problem. That was a massive problem because really, I mean, again, I don't want to go into that lane, but like New Labour, oh, fuck that, man. Just a mess, man. New Labour and all that spin. Oh, my. It's just, and then here we are today, man. You know, serious. And remember, again, Tony Blair, he's supposed to go down for war crimes and all of these type of things, man. Instead, he was earning, was it £1 million per after dinner speech and all of this type of shit, man? Yeah? But if you now go and thieve something from somewhere, blah, 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 they're looking to throw the book at you, throw you in jail and everything else that comes with it. Well, that's exactly why, though, Gain, because he took them, like I'm saying, he took Labour, you know, way over to the centre, man. Like I said, you couldn't split them with a fact paper. You know, New Labour didn't revert a lot of the Tory policies. New Labour didn't even reverse them. You know, so he was just an extension, man, 100%. And it's 3 terms. I remember it very well. I remember it very, very well. Very well. I'm not saying it was all a travesty. Do you know what I mean? They did do some, you know, some good things as well. Don't get me wrong. And they did, and they definitely invested or at least put money into certain areas, which, and then Conservative come and, you know, that it's been austerity since, you know. And the thing is, you know, remember, we went into austerity because we had to reduce the debt, this, that, and all the rest of it. But England is now in more debt than it was under New Labour. Remember, I've given you the statistics. England goes into debt like £5,000 odd per second. But to counter that, though, what I found out, though, is that although they go into debt £5,000 odd a second, right, the actual revenue that they get per second is actually much more, which I found to be quite interesting. Do you know what I mean? So then that begs the question, then why is the debt calculator then so high? If you're pulling in more money than you're paying out, yeah, why is England so much in debt? Remember when because when Labour left, they said we're broke, innit, with the country's skin, yeah. Okay, Conservatives came with their austerity thing. Obviously, they were able to get it through the country because, you know, the country was told that it's broke. But like I'm saying, the debt has gone up even more since then. So on where's all this money going? Yeah, and I reckon if we followed the paper trail, I think we'd be very, very, very scared to see where that money's actually gone, man. Trust me. But like I said, during since our 2 years off and that, the rich have only got richer. I thought it was 95% in terms of the wealth distribution in the world, but I was speaking to a gentleman yesterday, and he was saying that it's actually 97.3% now. Yeah, i.e., 3% of the world's population owns 97% of the wealth. Yeah. So Victoria, Bab, I don't know. I can't see it, man. I've got to be real, man. Cameron forgetting his disabled kid in a pub left. Oh my God, that's a trip down memory lane, isn't it? Did they lose that son? Is that the son? Did they lose? I'm sure they did. Anyway, but yeah, then maybe we need to start our own political movement. If we are all on the same page with certain things, why can't we stand together? It's not impossible. Obviously, you know, the independents have stood in England, including the was it the Raving Loony Party and that. So that's a possibility, Victoria. But I think what it is now is that in 2023 they've got us being so individualistic. Do you know what I mean? They've definitely taken us from like groupthink, as it were. You know, one for all, was it all for one and one for all and all that kind of good stuff, to you know, everyone's an island and that. So because of that, Victoria, I don't know, I think it might be harder for that to happen now, man. You know what I mean? And again, Victoria, that's probably another reason why they had to even get rid of things like the unions and that, because, do you know what I mean? If it's not their power, yeah, they don't want it, man. Because remember, the unions in England had a lot of power, and Margaret Thatcher said, "Not a blows, but." So I'm saying that to say that will probably happen to an independent party that became successful or popular. But yeah, definitely it's not impossible, man. But that's what I'm trying to say. This thing is so rigged, man. Hancock shagging some intern outside some lift shop. Or maybe some people do have a bit of knowledge that can point out the things that some are pushing as fact when they aren't fact. Or maybe some people do have a bit of knowledge that can... Well, Victoria are pushing as fact when they aren't fact. Well, all right, fair enough. I'm not going to say nothing to that still. But just remember, a lot of what the government tell you is not facts. So it's just spin. So... Well, I'd agree with that. Dominic Cummings, that's the one. Well, no. Again, Victoria, because the thing is very much rigged. Big up yourself, EIE, my brother. Okay, so where we got to? Exactly, Goofy. Let's look in their bank. This is what I'm trying to say, man. That's what I said before. If you start to follow the money trail, you would be scared as to where you're going to end up, man. Yeah, but to be honest, Vicky, that debt is never going to get paid. At this point in time, it's just numbers on a fucking screen, man. You know what I mean? It's not even tangible. That's the next thing. It's not even tangible. That's not even... They're just going to say it has to get paid off, as it were, just to use it as like, not leverage, but like, what's the word? Just another way to control the population's purses and that. But that is not getting paid off, man. There's just numbers on a screen, man. Especially when you take into consideration the introduction of CBCs and stuff like that. Oh, I remember that program. Yes, Minister. Oh. I tell you, TV was much better then as well, man. Much more authentic. You know what I mean? But yeah, I remember that program. Yes, Minister. I did. Run by career politicians rather than social activists before a lot of politicians worked up the ranks. No, exactly, Gain. And that's what I'm exactly, Gain. Facts, man. And that's what I'm saying. It's just all rigged now. I completely agree with that, man. At least politics before, it was about actual policies. I do agree with that. You know what I mean? But now, yeah. Oh, Herbs is in the building. You're surviving the morning. You're getting out there, Herbs. Hey. All right, we got to Mr. and Mrs. Herbs still. Come on. back to the immigration thing. I think it's an Islam thing. You don't hear anyone complain about Hinduism. Well, good point, Stuart. I did try to. I sort of highlighted that myself. Although obviously there are definitely less Hindus, etc., etc. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of negligible if we go back to our screen. What was it? Hindu was 1.5%, Sikh was 0.8%, Jewish 0.5%, Buddhist 0.4%. So yeah. So, and obviously Islam, it was saying it at 5%. So obviously they've got the greater of the numbers, so it could be argued, would make more of the noise. Herbs just said it seems like middle class earners are being reduced, whether or not it's a plan, I don't know. I'll probably say I'll probably say an occupational hazard of the plan, innit? Do you know what I mean? I know that the middle class definitely get clobbered, and they pay a lot for the top and the bottom, to be fair. I would say that still the middle class get clobbered, man, because the middle class are paying all the taxes, blah 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 blah. Whereas the richer ones, they ain't paying them taxes. They're getting out all of that, man. They're paying their accountants to do the most. And who ain't a dom and this and that and this and that. So yeah, man, middle class definitely are getting battered, clobbered. I completely agree with that. All right. Again, is saying debt isn't designed to be paid back, but rather a control mechanism. I agree. You think USA is going to pay back their exactly, Gain. Exactly. Because as well, because all they got to do is just print more money within this fiat system. And that's, again, this is the thing about the fiat system, right? It's not backed by nothing. So all they got to do is just print money, add digits, and they're good, man. Because it's backed by nothing. It's just backed by thin air, the fiat currency. Whereas before, when things was on a gold standard, blah 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 blah, you know that for every pound or every dollar was worth a gram of gold in these things. So it actually, it had intrinsic value. Whereas now it's backed by fuck all. So yep, agree with that. Gain 100%. All right, big up yourself, Shivite. Big up yourself. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. The more money they borrow or print means great for investors. Stock markets around the world breaking or reaching all-time highs. Cha-ching. But that's not not at the moment, though, Gain, in terms of the stock market. Right now, they're taking the piss. I know there's been little gains and little rises of late, but they're taking man. And the thing is, Gain, like I've done a show about it anyway. They've all that in terms of the stock market. It's all done by design, man. All of it. It's just all by design. The current stock market, the interest rates, fucking inflation. This shit's all by design. They planned it, man. Gain is saying, get your Bitcoin in. It's on 21 million once. It's gone no more. Therefore, price up. So you're definitely, because I asked someone yesterday about crypto and that, and yeah, I don't want to start going down next. Okay, but anything else, Gain, or just Bitcoin? Any of the lesser coins? Urban saying, but we've only had a middle class for about 100 years. Okay. Um, 100 years middle class. I don't know. I suppose the middle classes sort of started coming in with the Industrial Revolution and all that, but I'm not going to argue about that. But I'm just saying they're getting a clobbering. That's all. UK is irrelevant. Oh, dude. Dow Jones broke record. S&P from 0.5 away from the all-time high. India, all-time high. Germany, all-time high. UK. That's really interesting, you know, Game, that you say that, right? Yeah, because actually you make a relevant point, because you make a relevant point in terms of how it's taken England so long to recover compared to other countries. So you make a good point there, actually. And this is what I'm trying to say. It's all rigged, man. It's the genuine hardworking people who are taking the brunt of all this. I know it's not a lot, but the poorest have the main things covered by the government. People who are not getting help are struggling. No, I agree, Victoria, and that's why I'm saying. That's exactly why I'm saying that the middle class is getting clobbered, because, like you're saying, the poor will get their assistance. Do you know what I mean? The rich, they get their assistance also in a different way. And then the bulk of it is just left to, you know, the work, the working and middle class. So I completely agree with that, man. Is it? I've not even been following it, Gain. Fucking hell, man. Shit. There are other great coins done massive gains, so Victor is more secure. All right, Papa Cop coming now with a different view. He's saying, "Gain, stop your nonsense. Take out the biggest 10 companies out of the indexes, and the markets are fucked." See, that was more my sort of assessment. To be fair, like I said, I know on recent days there has been a few consecutive days when it's gone up, but yeah. Gain, you're the same guy that promoted the metaverse, Web3, and not you only pipe up when the Bitcoin is up. You stay silent when crypto is down. Oh, looks like there's a bit of a to and fro between these two, but those interesting comments still. Thank you, Papa Cop, in terms of the top 10s and that. I ain't even been fucking looking at my thing like that. I'm not gonna lie, man. I just got so sick of Red Star. She writes saying the demonic elite don't care. I agree. It's their agenda to keep us busy and funding their deep underground real estate, so they are prepared for the next Phoenix reset. Lord Vishnu and God will start in May 2040. Well, I definitely agree with the first part of that, Shivai. Keep us busy funding their deep underground real estate. What that is could be up for a question. Do you know what I mean? Because if we start talking about that, it'll be just more instances where people can feel that they can call us retarded. But I'm with you. I'm definitely with you there, Shivai. The next Phoenix reset. Yeah. I'll get the reset setting still. Telling you, Star. What was it? There's this guy called, I can't remember his name, but I spoke to him on Dave's channel. Hopefully I'm going to have it on, because he had a lot of good things or topics. But one of the things he said, which that in the white paper of Agenda 25, he was saying that the plan is that after 2030, that there'll be no sort of international travel, or it'll be just basically for the elitists and that. And so, which I was like, whoa. And I just said that sort of goes in line with the whole 15-minute city stuff and that. Papa Cop is an idiot, follows me around. Oh dear. Then Elton's book. Oh, you know about that book? I'm telling you, Goofy man. I'm telling you. Popcorn. Trust. I've spoken about. No, I haven't spoken about Popcorn on my platform. I spoke about. What was the first start? What was it called? What was his first book called? How am I gonna forget it now? Not Popcorn. I have read that one, but what was the? It begins with S. Oh shit! I'm gonna have to Google that, man. It's gonna annoy me. What was it called? Scar. Oh my god! What was it called? Hold on. I'm gonna have to look. Because I think this one that I'm gonna find now, I think this is very relevant. What was it called again? Hold on. Is it? Well, I've definitely read Popcorn still. What's the one that I'm talking about though? And I often reference it. Hold on. That's the one. Thank you, Goofy. Because you know I just Stark. Yeah, that one there. That one there is a mad, like, yeah, man. That one there. But yeah, I remember I don't remember Popcorn as much as I remember. I have read it, but Stark always stuck in my mind. Always. And yeah, I think it's very, very relevant today. Very, very relevant today. No one can tolerate him. Right, I'll leave it in chat. But yeah, Stark. Really, if you lot are into, I don't even know how I would describe it, man, but it's another one of them ones where it's a book set, you know, it's you know, in times gone by, whatever, but you know, it's all very, very relevant today. Very, very relevant today, you know, in terms of the happenings, this, that, and the other. Seriously. But yeah, Stark is a really good book, man. Makes me think of Elon Musk and that. The Phoenix was warned by the Mayans and Nostradamus and more people. Also, the Pyramids realm is on time as equals. Exactly, Basil, in 1989, exactly. Yeah, and look where we are now, and we can see how relevant it is, man. You know what I mean? And we also have to remember that there's people out there that have got access to certain information. Do you know what I mean? Where they try to tell us certain things. I'd put films in that as well. I think films tell us many, many stories. You get me? It's just that whether we're willing to take it as just being a Hollywood blockbuster or if they're actually telling a story. Do you know what I mean? If business only rely on the elite, the business will not be viable. I'm not sure what that's. That must be in something in the chat. But in terms of businesses and that, I mean, again, it goes back to the sort of agenda whereby we can see that. I don't know. I wouldn't even like to hasten a guess as to how many businesses are actually left in the world now. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, because a lot of this, I don't even know how many, how many companies are probably left in the world now? Maybe 20, 30, 40, 50? Yeah. And they've basically bought up all the other companies. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, you might have a company called tHe, but that company tHe is owned by tHe 99, and tHe 99 is owned by tHe 9999, and so forth and so on and so on until you get to the top of the pyramid. Do you know what I mean? Because I was even speaking to my son about this. So even when you think about England, yeah, when you think about some of the car industries in England, like Ford, Vauxhall, you know, Opel, blah 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 blah. Do you know what I mean? And slowly but surely, they've all been bought out. Do you know what I mean? So now it's only a few automotive companies just own everything else. I think BMW now own Volkswagen and blah blah blah, and Jaguar's owned by some. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just saying that it's all a pyramid. It's all a pyramid. Exactly. Goofy. All under umbrella companies. Exactly. And then they start applying different tax this and there and there and there. Whereby by the time they're done, you know what I mean, bare money they're making, and they're not sharing the spoils, as it were. But yeah. And again, the thing is so layered, man. Because even in England, how they sort of encourage people to change the way, not that they work, but how would you say? No, in fact, let me not even go down that way there still. But it's still in line with talk about umbrella companies and that. Exactly, Victoria. Or sometimes they even, why is this? Sometimes they even not predict the future, but show you what's going to happen in the future. Right. That's better. But right. HOMC will be investigating you. But that's the thing though, man. And this is what I'm trying to say that I learned a long time. The thing is rigged, man, because yeah, man, if you've got a good accountant and this and that and this and that and that and this and this and that, you're good to go, man. Do you know what I mean? Because there's definitely systems in place that if you know what you're, or who to speak to, whatever, to utilize them. For example, I was taught from, in terms of only because you mentioned HRMC, Randy, that if you can, that it's better to work and be and work as a limited company. Yeah, that's it. It's better to work as a limited company if you can, rather than are you? You're a qualified accountant, are you? Okay, Randy. So you know how to you need to come and drop your number in the back, bub. If you know what you're doing. But what was I gonna say? Yeah. Oh yeah, that's it. It's better to be a limited company, because when you're a limited company, that's it. It's better to be a limited company, because when you're a limited company, you pay your tax after you've spent your money. Whereas with pay as you earn, they tax you before you receive your money. Do you know what I mean? Come drop your digits, man. Get me. Come and teach me how to You know what we're talking about. You know what we're talking about, Randy. You know what I mean? Send us your business card. But I was just making a point though, in terms of PAYE versus being a limited company. PAYE, obviously they take your taxes out, before you get paid, as it were. Whereas if you do it the other way, they only get. I'm not explaining myself very well. I do apologize. But basically, if you do it the other way, like as a limited company, etc., they tax. Shut. You know what? Forget that, man. Forget that. Personally, we need to start at the bottom, getting our communities and streets in order. Everything has a knock-on effect. Yeah, I agree with that again. I do agree with that again, Victoria. I agree with that. The only thing I would say is that because, like I was explaining before, because they've turned the society into an individualistic one, it's just going to be harder now, I believe, to get the people them together, unless it can be something that we can all unite upon. You see what I'm saying to you? And that's why I always give the example of the poll tax. We're obviously divided regarding this thing in Israel, so it can't be that. So it can only happen if there's something that we can be united upon, Victoria, I would say, in that regard, to be fair. Big up yourself, actual. Long time. Long time. Hope you and your people them are well, man. So yeah, that's what I will say in that regard still, Victoria, man. And that's what I'm trying to say. They've definitely set us up. Don't get it twisted. They've definitely set us up. No, myself too, Victoria. Trust me, you have a good day too, girl. You have a good day too, man. We'll pick this up again. But yeah, man, I think also it's good to have conversations that not that we can unite upon, but where there's commonality in it. And that's what I've always said in it. Like I say, when I was growing up, we celebrated our differences, do you know what I mean? But we didn't allow them to keep us apart, as it were. You know? So yeah, man. But I'm gonna leave it there still, family, because yeah, like Victoria said, I've got things to do myself. But I just wanted to quickly come and touch base. And like I say, if you don't come and press that live button, boy, you can just get sidetracked with real life. Do you know what I mean? Just investigating Caribbean banking. Is that since your little trip to Grenada, Randy, yeah? You got a little Caribbean vibe going, yeah? Smaller government and make those left accountable. Yeah, I hear that, man, but that's the thing though, and that's what I'm saying. It's all a joke thing, Basil, man, because like I said, they're just one big club in it themselves. They might have different colors, red, blue, green, whatever, yellow, whatever. But do you know what I mean? They're all man. Let us not forget that they all just gave themselves a massive pay rise, this, that, and the other, whatever. They don't give a fuck about us, Basil, man. They don't give two fucks about us, man. Not a fuck, man. All right, well, I could definitely see how Grenada could what's the word? Captivate you, I should say, because Grenada is definitely a beautiful, beautiful island. Beautiful, beautiful island, man. Beautiful, beautiful island still. So yeah, man, I'm big up all the Grenadians out there still. Get me. Send my love to Guav, the town that don't sleep. Get me. I'm sure if I went back, they will remember the 9-tHe. But yeah, man, beautiful island is Grenada. Really, really beautiful. It's a really what's the word? Is it not contours? But it's a really beautiful island anyway, man. Do you know what I mean? It's a really beautiful island, for sure. But yeah, anyway, family, I'm going to leave it there still. Let me go and do a couple things. But thank you, everyone, for passing through. You know what I mean? It's been a good discussion. Thank you, Khan and Buddha, for jumping on. Sorry, I had disappeared for a bit, but I got already. But make sure you have slap the like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, all that good house cleaning. Like we're saying, today's the 14th. Do you know what I mean? I don't even want to make no promises in it, but I'm gonna see if I can be a little bit more frequent on the run up to the pagan season and that, as we'll be on our holidays as well and that soon, and the children will be breaking up and all that good stuff. So yeah, man, but big up everyone in the place still. Yeah, hope you enjoy the rest of your Thursday. What am I saying? Yeah, I've got quite a few things to do. So listen, it's been lovely as ever. All right, take care of yourselves. There was something on here that I was going to speak about, but I'll do it next time still. You know what I mean? No problem. And enjoy the rest of your day, family. Yeah. So what we're saying is now what? 1:36. Okay, 6 and 3 is 9. I think that's a good time to leave. Yeah. So you don't know this has been myself, 90 for 99. Okay, hit the notification bell because you never know when I'm gonna pop up. All right, and we'll definitely continue this discussion still. All right, big up one and all. Take care. One love.